And we're live at Jefferson High School, where we have your Jefferson High School Cougars, who are 1-0 with a 27-22 victory over Millbrook against the 1-0 Sherando Warriors, who had a 54-6 win over James Wood High School, the Colonials of Winchester, Virginia. I am joined by our player of the game from last night, Chloe. Chloe, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. And Chloe is one of the players of the game as we had a triple hitter this week. Obviously, we had the Wildwood Middle School game on Wednesday. We had the Jefferson High School Lady Cougars yesterday versus the Hedgesville Eagles. And tonight, we had the Jefferson High School Cougars versus the Sherando Warriors. And Chloe, with 8 minutes left last night in a 0-0 game versus a conference rival, Hedgesville,
Yep.
had the game-winning goal. Um, it was like four corner kicks, and then
Yeah.
finally, Jefferson was able to get that goal in, and luckily, Chloe's shoulder, that's from last night, was a determining factor in Jefferson getting that big victory. So, Chloe, with the way the game was going, you guys seemed to dominate the game, essentially, but we just couldn't get the ball, into the net. Um, what was going through your mind after the first three attempts and Jefferson could not get the ball into the net? What went through your mind in that last shot to say, I'm going to do something different than the first time?
At that point, I was like, the last corner kick, it bobbled around in the box for like a couple of seconds. It got cleared from like the goal line and then went back out. And I like rose my hand and I was like, just hit me. And Molly Colbert took the corner and I just went all in and it hit like my shoulder
Yeah.
slash neck and I went in the back of the net.
It was productive. And Chloe, you stood out to me during the game, and it was one particular play that stood out. And I said, whoever number 10 is, she's going hard. It was actually over on the other side of the 40-yard line, and you got hit and you actually tripped, but you got up and you had like a pretty good kick on goal. Obviously, it was blocked because Hedgesville's goalkeeper, she was amazing as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw the determination as everyone else was getting a little bit tired, like that quick burst. I said, okay, she really wants to win this game. Give us a little bit of your background of where you got the competitive spirit from, and what levels of soccer taught you to compete as well as you did last night.
Well, I'd started out playing like rec with the AYSO, and then I went into travel around like age 9, and that's where I actually started growing up playing with a bunch of the players that I'm playing against now. And I now play for my new club WVS,
Okay.
where against about 3 players on Hedgesville, they're on my team. Their Hedgesville goalie is my travel goalie.
Okay, yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah.
So when you have games like that, does it make it more competitive for you, or is it kind of like a friendly competitive, or is like, okay, I want to beat you guys because
Yeah.
come spring or come in the winter when we're doing indoor, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I love the competitiveness between us. It's all friendly, but it's also we both want to beat each other.
Yes.
And I think it just makes us better players overall.
So did you guys know, like, the strategy? We talked about it last night several times. It seemed like your guys' speed, had Hedgesville's attention. So it was more they were more defending as opposed to attacking on offense. Was there anything that your coach said, maybe at halftime or when you guys might have gotten substituted out for a little bit, that led you guys to realize, okay, if we do a couple things differently, that we'll be able to.
So our coach, especially with our midfield, she was like, play hard for 10 minutes, wear them down, and then you'll get a 5-minute break so you can give it all in once you go back in. And we realized if we lock them down, pressure them hard, wear them out, they're going to be extremely tired because they had just played a game the night before.
Yes. So, and that's something that, if you guys want to watch that broadcast at Home Team Sports TV, I said in the first 10 minutes, I said Jefferson is attacking and it's going to wear them down if they keep just taking the punches and not attack back. So, it definitely was something that I seen, we just didn't know what strategy, obviously what the strategy was, but it just seemed like, your guys' mentality was, okay, we know what they played last night. It was a 2-1 game. We know that Washington is a very good team.
Yeah.
So emotionally, there might be drained as well. So to be able to get that game, it made me excited. I said, I can't wait to watch the rematch because
Yeah.
obviously you had to go up to Hedgesville. They were supposed to play on Tuesday, but they got rained out, so it was a little bit more of an advantage for you guys.
Yeah.
But what does the speed of Lorelei? What have you guys seen that has helped to create for others?
I think it's she definitely breaks away from any defender she's up against.
Yes.
So if you send her a good through ball, not too far, but like take advantage of her speed, and she'll break away. And it's normally a 1v1 with the keeper at that point.
Yeah. So, Chloe, we definitely appreciate you coming up here and allowing us to get a redo. We know you want to get down there with your friends. I see it must be like a Hawaiian 5-0 night.
Yeah.
I see everybody coming, with their Hawaiian shirts. So we are definitely greatly appreciative, and thank you. We can't wait to call more games with you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you.
And we are back at Home Team Sports TV with one of the co-players of the game of our Wednesday game, Bray Young Holmes. Braylon, congratulations on an exceptional game on Wednesday. Going against a tough East Hardy team, what was something that Coach Vines did to prepare you guys for the physicality that they were going to bring?
In practice, we worked a lot on what they were going to do before the game. We went over a lot of their plays, and we just hit a lot to prepare.
Okay, so, in being a quarterback of the team, was there any extra preparation that you put into knowing that they were going to be a team with a physical line and that, you might have to get out of the pocket?
Film.
Did you watch film? Okay, was it film of last year's game or was it film of…
Multiple years.
Okay. So, honestly, there were some plays that, obviously they were ad-libbed and you have, a good stud wide receiver in Corey Yates. Was there anything that you guys worked on, ahead of time and maybe after practice that allowed you guys to have such a strong connection?
I've known him for a long time. I trust him. I always with him, so.
Okay. So, what one thing I would say going against a strong, physical Greenbrier East team, is there anything that you feel like you're going to do to prepare yourself against the speed and the power of the Greenbrier East Knights?
I think we should use our athleticism. We're probably going to be more athletic than them. So we just have to be stronger up front.
And there's one play that particularly stood out. You scrambled out of the pocket. You were getting chased down by two linebackers, and you heaved the ball up to Corey Yates. Was that trust, or was it one of those situations?
I just threw the ball up.
You just threw the ball up?
I just threw the ball. I was like, hope he catches the ball.
Brutal honesty. So going 12 of 15 for 207 and 3 touchdowns, it seemed like you felt pretty comfortable in your first start as a middle school starting quarterback. What can you do going forward to improve off of a stellar first game?
Just learn from every game, fix your mistakes from the last game, and try to improve the next one.
All right, so Braylon, thank you for joining us. Really greatly appreciate it, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you.
We are now joined by the co-player of the game, Corey Yates, who had 7 receptions, 185 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and a You Got Moss-worthy touchdown. Corey, that was your first game ever as a starting wide receiver. What was your mindset going into that game?
Mindset really just win, try my best, and just win the game.
At what point did you feel like that your confidence level went to an all-time high where you feel like maybe there's no one on the field that's going to be able to stop you?
Really when I seen the DB that was guarding me, he couldn't keep up with me.
So did you feel like it was more speed, size, or just overall athleticism or mentality as well?
Everything really in my mentality.
Yeah, because I seen that you had soft hands, and actually some of the balls that that maybe have been like a little short. I seen that you came back with strong hands and attacked the ball. Is that something that you learned? Obviously, having a brother who as a freshman, starting, competing for the starting spot at St. James. Do you guys get out and work a lot?
Yes, sir. We just get in the field every week, throw passes, run routes, stuff like that.
All right, Kari, is there anything that you've taken from that first game that you have learned that will help you going forward?
Really just keep trying my best, keep winning games, get this fourth championship in a row.
Hey, sounds like a plan. Kari, I really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck on the rest of the season, and maybe you might break the record.
Hopefully.
Thank you. So we are 7 minutes away from game time. At Home Team Sports TV, this is the first time we have broadcasted at the Jefferson High School. We're definitely grateful for the community for allowing us into your homes, to family that may not be able to come to the field. This is our thank you to you. So for a full Scholastic 2022 and 2023 season, tonight's matchup is Sherando versus Jefferson. We are going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will come back with my co-host and All-State quarterback, Brandon Ashenfelter from Martinsburg High School. You are kicking it with the home team.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Practice this week?
It was a mixture. I mean, we had Monday's a walkthrough game plan and installing the game plan. Tuesday is stormed up here. So Tuesday is stormed up here. So usually when it storms, we got to go in the gym. It becomes a little bit of chaos trying to get those guys focused a little bit. Wednesday was a little better. We got them back outside. It was better. Thursday, the day's a walkthrough. So cleaning stuff up, getting everything right. So all in all, it was okay. We could practice. We'd like to have a better week. We'd like to get outside on Tuesday and practice the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, and Tuesday's our day that we're actually on the turf the whole day uninterrupted. So we missed that day.
Right.
It was good. It is what it is. It's not like I've never dealt with a bad day of practice throughout a week.
Right.
So
right. For
it's
sure.
just about getting them guys motivated, be ready to play tomorrow, making sure they understand all their assignments.
Yeah, I mean, with it being the first home game of the season, there should be no lapse of excitement and, to get out there and go. So that should help. What about injuries? Everybody healthy?
I feel everybody's healthy. I think everybody's healthy. Nobody said anything to me as far as that goes, or our athlete trainer.
Yeah.
I think everybody's healthy. The excitement for the first game is great, but now we got to teach them how to hone that excitement and keep it corralled so they don't blow it all out before the game even starts, and then they're tired before halftime.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is making sure they just corral it and keep it contained and let it loose when they need to let it loose.
Yeah, that's a veteran coach talking right there. Good game tomorrow.
Keys to the game is going to be, number one, we got to tackle better. We're going to stop their running game. Keep the Santiago kid under wraps. He's a speed guy, but I think if we can stop their running game and make them more one-dimensional with the passing game, I think that'll be more in our favor than letting them run the ball and then not letting them throw it. So I think that's a key defensively is make sure we tackle, gang tackle, get around the ball, swarm it, stop their running game, put them behind the sticks, put them in long distance situations to maybe make their quarterback feel a little bit uncomfortable throwing the ball and keep it like that. I think the offensively is to move the ball. I mean, we just got to stay assignment clean, be assignment clean football, and just I would say attack them, stay on them, and then use our weapons that we have in special places. I mean, we got some things that we've seen, some tendencies that we've seen that we want to try to exploit. So, I mean, we need to make sure there's going to be plays that we're probably going to call that you might only get once or twice in the game. So when we get those, I told the kids today, when we get those opportunities, we got sure we get that opportunity. We can't blow it by missing an assignment or getting the penalty card on it because you're not going to get those plays back. So I think we play clean football, know our assignments, catch the ball, no turnovers, no mistakes. That's a key thing for us. Yeah. Do not turn the ball over. We're getting to be where we need to be, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Being the youth that we have up front, the youth we have in the main position at quarterback, we need to keep the ball, hold the ball, and don't turn it over. And I think we can be fine if we do those things. Coming back off of a year that characterized, it's not a characterized Sherando team. It's not a Sherando team that you've seen in the past. I think they lost a lot of seniors the year before after the COVID year. I think they were really young last year. I think they're kind of still a little young this year. I think they're physical, they're aggressive, and they've gotten more speed back. That's why I think that we need to get after them early, attack them early, and try to be physical with them early and make tackles when we need to make tackles and get them off the field. I think if we can get them off the field offensively, and it's on the field, I think we'll be fine. They're a good football team. I mean, they've done a complete turnaround from last year. Same thing what Millbrook did. They did a complete turnaround from last year. So, and I told our kids, like, this is not last year. People just aren't going to lay down for you. Plus, all those teams that you beat up on are going to be looking for revenge. Yeah. So we got to be ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The COVID year really crushed our numbers. I mean, we had 23 varsity players, and that was it. We played that spring season that was non-traditional. I think West Virginia was playing regular in the fall. We only played our county schools. We had like 4 games. So we finished up our spring season in like March, and then got around summer, and then turned around and played again in the fall. So a really quick turnaround. Me getting a new staff in here was a little bit difficult. I didn't get the job until June and end of May. But now, we have some camaraderie with the kids. Staff's been in place for an entire year. We had a full off season, uninhibited and able to actually get out and do things. So the weight room's been good for us. We've been to a bunch of different 7-on-7s, and we had a good summer session this summer. Fall camp has gone pretty good for us as well. Our numbers are back up, and we kicked things off week 1, kind of the way in which we wanted to. And so, feeling really good about, where we're at right now as far as the program as a whole, and, also this fall.
Awesome. What do you feel like the strengths are of this team?
Last year, I think we struggled up front, and I think we significantly improved in that facet, both the offensive and defensive line. Some of those guys are, the same kids. They just changed their bodies a little bit. And some of those guys are new faces and some new blood in there, which, we desperately needed. I think we have an older group of skill guys to match that. Most of our skill players are predominantly seniors. And they've played a lot of football. So they have that experience, on their belt. And so you combine those two things together, and you kind of hope that you can come up with a really good product. We're working, to get here, we're not there yet, but it's still early, and the hope and the goal is to just keep getting better every day and hopefully reach our potential.
Yeah, for sure. I know you guys are familiar with Coach Hunter and Jefferson. What do you feel like the keys to the game tonight are?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you play Jefferson, they're going to have kids that can run. I mean, that's a consistent theme with that program. Every year that I've ever seen them, most of the football guys are track guys, and they're fast. Man, they're very fast. 8 and 2 can really fly. 23 is a long kid. I think he's sneaky fast. And the tailback, he gets downhill and he gets after it as well. So I think their perimeter guys, in addition to that tailback, are very strong. The quarterback's new, but he's definitely got an arm. He has a lot of arm talent, and he can spin the ball around. And anytime you have guys that can run like that, makes the quarterback position a little bit easier. So we'll have to contain those perimeter guys, in tonight's game. And I think that's a big key for us, on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Offensively, what are you guys looking to do?
You got to establish a line of scrimmage, I think, in any kind of football game. So that's, priority number one for us. But then, we have to take calculated opportunities, again, in the way in which they move in the back end, putting the ball in the air. It can be dangerous. I mean, 23's got range, and those corners are solid. So establishing the run game and giving us, calculated shots or opportunities, I think will, be beneficial.
For sure. I know you don't look past one game, but
sorry, we have to interrupt the coach's interview as the game is about to get started. We are excited for the 2022-2023 Scholastic season with today's matchup of Sherando versus Jefferson. Today's title sponsor is Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, VFW Post 3325, HG Soul Food Barbecue, Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage, Chris Page at Quality Lawn Care, and our halftime show sponsor, L&L Handyman Services, with our post-game show and player of the game sponsor, Catro Law. I am joined by former All-State quarterback Brandon Elschenfelter. Brandon, pleasure to have you here. Obviously, you've played against both of these teams throughout your career. What is something that you realize that both of these teams bring to the table consistently that you're looking forward to seeing if they still have that same vibe in 2022?
Both teams always have athletes. Jefferson, Sherando. Jefferson probably has, 4 kids that run track and do very well in it. So Sherando's probably the same way. So I would definitely say the athletes, and then they're always both well coached as well. So
yes, and obviously you've seen that trick play right there where they actually ran a reverse on the kickoff and a touchdown saving tackle by number 2 Keyshawn Robinson. A player to watch for the Jefferson High School Cougars.
He is a kid you have to be excited about. We've been watching him. He's a junior now, correct?
Yes.
So, still has another year, but has been doing numbers and making a name for himself throughout the state in his first, 2 years. So I'm excited to see what he does this year.
And he's one of the fastest kids in the state of West Virginia as well. So you would look to see Jefferson get the ball in space to Keyshawn Robinson.
Yes.
1st and 10 from the Jefferson 50-yard line, and it burst up the middle by the Sherando running back. It will be 2nd and 2 from the Jefferson 42. And one of my keys to the game from watching the game was the linebackers for Jefferson.
Yes.
The Jefferson linebackers have to be willing to get physical and tackle today because this is going to be a very physical, strong Sherando team.
That's one thing about Sherando, too. Those boys up front, they get after it. They always have. I remember playing them my senior year. The final score was 7-0. It was one of the most competitive games I've ever been in. Sherando's always very strong up front, and then they have the athletes to go with it. So it makes them a very good program for sure.
The second run by number 2, Gavin, which they have him listed as a wide receiver on the depth chart, but he is taking the first 2 carries for the Sherando Warriors. 3rd and 5. Blue and a first down at the Jefferson 36-yard line. Gavin Blue with the first 3 carries of the game.
He runs hard. He runs hard, King.
He runs real hard. And to have him listed as a wide receiver and to be able to do that, he must be their Debo Samuel player.
He's an all-around athlete.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line of the Jefferson Cougars. They get Jefferson jump, but no snap.
No flag,
They look to the sideline for the play. Number 1, Lucas Kincaid.
Another run.
Another run by number
Great
25.
Run. Great run.
Jason Foster, touchdown, Sherando Warriors.
Hey, if you get the ball and you make one cut and get upfield, that's the best thing you can do as a running back. He did that right there.
The speed.
Yes.
Once he broke through, there was no one going to stop him. We have an injury on the play. Number 65, Jarrett C. So a 36-yard touchdown run by number 25, Jason Foster. We'll have Sherando getting ready to kick the extra point.
Now see here, Keem, he's only a junior too, so Sherando gets him back next year, so that's awesome for them.
That was a very explosive run.
Yes, it was.
And a sideline warning for the Jefferson High School Cougars. So we have 4 plays from the 50-yard line. The first play was a gain of 8. The second play was a loss of 3. The third play was a gain of 10. And then the fourth play was a 35-yard touchdown run by number 25, Jason Foster. So, Brandon, getting back to what I stated earlier, the key will be how the Jefferson linebackers play against the run. In that first possession, if you're a Jefferson fan, you don't like how that turned out.
Not at all. And, we talk about the linebackers too, but it comes down to the D-line having to do their jobs so that it frees up the linebackers to make the plays and, make the tackles before they get to the safeties and that second line of defense. So
yes.
About Sherando, they're always super tough up front, so it's going to make it hard on the D-line. So they're just going to have to get on them quick and then be able to, do their job to free up those linebackers. So.
And that's the most important aspect is adjustments. This is going to be a game of adjustments.
Yes.
As you've seen earlier, Sherando had the trick play on the kickoff, but their offense was pretty much smash mouth.
Yes.
They really agree with that. Yeah. It was, we're going to line up, we're going to test your line to see what level of physicality, they're bringing. And then at that point, obviously, stop it, fine.
Yeah.
If you can't, we're going to keep pounding it. And look at the two backs, Keyshawn Robinson, 8, Isaiah Fritz, 2 members of the Jefferson High School 4x1 and 4x2 team.
I don't know if it gets any faster than that back there as returners right there. I mean, that's 2 very fast, athletic guys back there. And I wouldn't kick it to them either. I would do exactly what Sherando did, and I would not kick it to their best athletes.
Yes, because the last thing you want is to have a dominating first possession and get the air taken out of yourselves by a return.
That kills all the morale, that's for sure.
And we're going to see that a lot this season,
yes,
where teams are going to be afraid to kick the ball to turn in the backfield. So we will get our first chance to see this explosive Jefferson offense. Number 7, the junior quarterback Quentin Goins in the set with Evan Toole to his right.
It's a good-looking
From
quarterback.
the 4-yard line.
Good-looking quarterback.
Snap low.
He's got to get it out.
The ball is up to Spencer Powell.
Go get it.
Spencer Powell with the amazing catch by the second-team All-State wide receiver, Spencer Powell.
And Keem, I am very impressed how number 7 stood in the pocket and made that throw. I mean, he took that and still made the throw. So that goes to show how strong of an arm that kid has.
And the amazing aspect of that play as well was that Owens kid, he did not panic when things weren't going his way. That was an off-script play.
Bad snap. I mean, it was a bad play from the start. You got a bad snap and then pressure in your face. I mean, you can't teach that type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that makes a player a player.
So right now we have an injured player on the field, and this gives us time, to talk about some keys to the game. Obviously, I spoke about my keys to the game in the middle linebacker, in the linebacking core for Jefferson. Obviously, the running game is going to be something for us to watch. We would like to thank our sponsor, K-Tro Law, for your generous sponsorship. We're grateful for the community. We're grateful for our sponsors, HD's Barbecue, Chris Page of Quality Lawn Care, Neil Powell, Down Home Insurance, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty. Thank you for your generous sponsorship. We will have a 1st and 10 from the Sherando 26-yard line after a 35-yard play.
Tried to get him to jump.
So try to get him to jump, and obviously, the disciplined team, the well-coached team, Coach Smith, they didn't take the bait. Quentin Goins looked to the sideline for another play. 5 seconds left on the play clock.
He needs to get it out. He needs to go.
And he has ran out of time.
Yeah, he needs to go.
And there will be
I think Hunter got the timeout. Yes.
And honestly, you have to be aware of the clock.
Yes.
I mean, there's a clock right there, straight ahead.
It's game management as a quarterback. I know that's on the coach, but the quarterback as well to obviously pay attention to that and make sure that, one priority, but that needs to be in your mind at all times. Game clock and play clock. Obviously.
Exactly. And he's a young quarterback. Obviously, this is his second start on the varsity level. But, playing against a good team like Sherando, which more than likely this game is going to come down to the fourth quarter.
Yeah. One or two plays.
You want to maintain, those timeouts for clutch situations that you might want to say, all right, you know what, this is something that we're not prepared for. Let's come over here and talk.
Well, and like you just said, the simple fact that this is only his second as a starter, he's got to get those game jitters out, and I think that's going to come just with, obviously, with the plays.
And a quick screen to Isaiah Fritz.
Athlete, man. He's an athlete.
15 yards to the Sherando 11-yard line for a 1st and 10 Jefferson.
Something about that kid is we say he's an athlete, but he runs hard too, man. He works.
He works so hard. He's one of the hardest working kids that I think that I've been around, since I've been around Jefferson High School. So it's always amazing to see Isaiah do well.
I was fortunate enough to see him growing up with the Bajents. So he's very close with the Bajents, and I knew at a young age that kid was going to be good. Tool, you got to get the ball. You got to get him the ball.
Evan Toole with a strong run down to the 1-yard line. And Evan Toole is a player who has built his body up in the weight room. So for you players in the middle school level and the rec level, realize that once you get to the high school level and the higher, more competitive levels of sports, it's the work outside of the football field.
That's what makes
going to get you to the next level. Down Evan Toole. And that is what you want to see from Jefferson High School. After Sherando came down and punched you in the mouth with that first possession, to be able to get your run game and your passing game established, this looks like this is going to be a game of defensive adjustments.
Yeah, it's going to be a shootout. You can tell that already. Like we said before, they both have athletes, and as long as the coaches are getting the ball in the athletes' hands, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. So,
and that's the beauty about this. But this is a freshman kicker. Kick is up.
He got
and it's no good.
Man. And honestly, Keem, those are plays that in a game like this, those are going to hurt you.
They're going to hurt. And it didn't seem like, to me from this angle, it seemed like he kicked the ball on the laces.
Yes.
That the placeholder did not spin the ball to be able to get a better angle to kick that. So, like I said, going forward, we will see if that continues to happen. If it does, if Craig Hunter is forced to go for two a few times this game. So with 9 minutes and 12 seconds left in the first quarter, the score is 7-6. So Brandon, 3 minutes of football, 2 touchdowns already.
I like it. I'm an offensive guy, so I love stuff like that. I love it.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how the Cougars adjust to that opening attack of Sherando. And obviously, you realize the strategic aspect of football, of getting Jefferson to respect that run game, to up passing game, and play action pass later. And play action pass, Brandon, as a quarterback, it makes the game so much easier if you get off the play action pass.
Well, and we talked earlier that the game of football has evolved so much. He hit the hole. Oh, okay. But it's evolved so much over time that, when I played, there was no such thing as an RP. A run pass option, just like you're talking about the play action. If you can effectively run the ball, it just opens up so much more for your offense.
Yes.
And Keem, I'd like to shout out the offensive lines because, like you've talked about, I have played back, but I also played tight end in college, and they don't really get – and tight ends are normally just glorified tackles, but they don't get the respect that they deserve because they're both doing a heck of a job opening these holes for the running backs.
And the tight end for Sherando is number 23, Ben Smith, and the tight end for Jefferson is Wyatt. But this Sherando attack is very potent, and Gavin Blue, he brought the wood to number 2, Keyshawn Robinson. And Robinson is shaking up, but that's a little bit wake-up call saying, hey, listen, I'm bringing it. I'm bringing the wood. I'm bringing that power behind me.
Keyshawn's going to remember that next time.
Oh, yeah.
He know that I can't go as soft as I just did. Obviously, number 2's not afraid.
And Nolan Milab with the beautiful tackle in the – and that is the first time that we've seen those linebackers get penetration and to be able to explode through the little gap that was created for the running back and make that tackle in the backfield.
And that's the great thing about football. Did you see the excitement he had after he made that play?
And Nolan has been the best linebacker for Jefferson over the last seasons, and he's only a junior. So the play action pass, the out route.
Good move. Great move.
The juke on number 23, Spencer Powell, and Sherando first down at the Jefferson 40-yard line. And obviously, Brandon, that was what we just spoke about just a few seconds ago, that play was created off of the pre-running game of Sherando. So they had the RPO. They seen that the defenders crashed on the run game and had the offensive, the out route available to them.
Penalties. They'll kill you. They will kill you, Keith.
And unlike Sherando being disciplined when Jefferson tried to get them to jump off sides, the Jefferson defender jumps off sides and gives a potent Sherando offense a 5-yard gain. We will now have 1st and 5 from the Jefferson High School 35-yard line.
And you said it, Keem, discipline. Football game comes down to discipline, on and off the field.
Michael Carlson to number 25.
Good hold. Hey, that
Jason
line.
Foster, and that would be a Sherando first down. I love the burst from Jason Foster.
Yes.
When he gets that handoff, he's going full speed. So
talked about before, he's not making too many cuts. He's putting his foot in the ground and he's getting uphill, and obviously it's effective right now. So
the screen
number
play,
2, get him the ball.
Tackled by number 34, Nolan Millet. With a 9-yard gain for the Sherando Warriors down to the high school 21-yard line.
Sherando's coaches are doing a great job getting that kid the ball.
Yes.
Obviously, we see that he is their athlete, and you have to get the athletes the ball. They're going to be the ones that make the plays. As a quarterback, it all goes in the stat sheet the same. So
yes, and getting the athletes the ball in space for you is in essence working smarter, not harder. 2nd and 4, the quarterback, and it will be a first down at the Jefferson 18-yard line, a gain of 6 by number 11, Micah Carlson, the 5'11", 185 sophomore.
That's awesome.
And this Sherando team, last year obviously they took their bumps and bruises, but you can tell the players got themselves in the gym. They have reshaped their bodies, and these sophomores and juniors are competing at a very high level with the very talented Jefferson High School team. 1st and 10 from the Jefferson 19-yard line with 6 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first quarter. Michael Carlson with the snap and the pistol. The option to number 25, Mr. Foster, and he is wrapped up and smoked by number 12, Moses Talley, and number 55 for Jefferson, Julian Matthews, the senior, 6'1", 195-pound offensive lineman, defensive lineman, linebacker.
That was a great play. That's not giving up. That's all that was, not giving up on the play.
Bigger than 195.
Yes, he does.
The high snap,
the
fumble snap, and the quarterback for Sherando, Carlson, does amazing damage control to prevent the turnover on downs, and we will have a 3rd and 7 from the 16-yard line of Jefferson with 5 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first half. Michael Carlson in the pistol, with a running back to his right. He takes the snap. The quick screen, bubble screen to number 5.
He's fast, too.
Oh, and he stays on his feet. And touchdown, Sherando Warriors, A.J. Santiago.
Get it to your athletes, Keem. I'll say it again.
Get it to your athletes in space, but the missed tackles that shown last week is Millbrook are showing up again this week, and this week they're facing a better opponent in the Sherando Warriors. Sherando for the kick. The kick is up. It's good.
Kick.
So with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first quarter, the Sherando Warriors 14 and the Jefferson Cougars 6. Brandon, obviously this game so far has been defined by the poor tackling of the Jefferson Cougars.
Yes.
And being an ex-player, what is something that you can, tell your players in game? Because obviously, there'll be more work and practice of tackling. But what is something you could tell their players in game that can help them make those adjustments?
Definitely, they have to go over the right reads. But I'd say just like blocking as a tight end, offensive lineman, wide receiver on offense, tackling is a one. You have to want to make that play. Obviously, there's going to be missed tackles in football, mistakes made, but tackling is all about being the hammer and not the nail is what it is. And that's what you have to do as the defense. You just have to make sure that when you get there, because it's not that Jefferson's in a bad position. They're just not wrapping up when they go to make the play. So,
and the starting linebacker, Moses Talley, he has his shoulder pads off. So we will see what his injury diagnosis is. But right now it doesn't seem like he's getting back into the game. And he's also a backup quarterback for Jefferson High School. So the short kick, once again, they refuse to kick the ball to Keyshawn Robinson or Isaiah Fritz. Jefferson will get the ball on their side of the field at the 46-yard line. Let's see what answer Jefferson has back to Sherando's answer to their answer. Quinn Goins with the pistol. The ball to Isaiah Fritz. He is met in the backfield, the swarm of Sherando tacklers, and he loses 5 more yards, and it would be a loss of 8.
And that all starts up front, Keem.
Yes.
You had some linemen. It looked like some missed assignments. They didn't really know if they should be blocking this man or the next man. But regardless, you got to go hit somebody.
Yeah, and it's a very young Jefferson line.
Yes, I see that.
Be 1st and 17 from the 37-yard line. Evan Toole goes in motion, pistol set, trips to the left.
Got to get it
he
out.
Scans the field.
Got to get it out. Good move.
He steps up. And Quentin Goins, with a gain of 4, will make it 3rd and 13 from the 41-yard line.
Positive yards is all you can ask for. But I think if he examines the field for a second, I think Keyshawn opens up a little bit right there. But it's a lot different from seeing it up here on the field. Trust me, I know firsthand, and Goins is doing a great job. Got to get it out. 8's right there, see?
Gets the ball to Isaiah Fritz on the hitch.
You want to know what I love about that play,
Sherando 36 for a gain of 25 yards.
He anticipated him coming open. He didn't wait for him to get open. He anticipated it and he needed to. That's a great play.
And for you wide receivers, Isaiah Fritz ran the route, but he found the hole in the defense.
Yes, and that's what you have to do. And that goes to show that these two are on the same page. Fritz and Goins, they're on the same page, and they kind of know what each other's going to be doing.
And going for the quarterback keeper, physical Cam Newton-style run will be a game of 7. And bring back to some of your playing days, because that was your staple as well.
Yeah, that was my style of play. I was growing up. I was a offensive lineman and played linebacker my whole life because I was overweight. The league give you the big X on your helmet and everything, so you can't run the ball. So I brought that to the quarterback position. And we see it a lot more nowadays, though. Bigger quarterbacks.
You do. the halfback pitch to Evan Toole.
And there
he
goes.
Explodes. A penalty flag on the field. And most likely that would be a holding penalty.
On, I'm thinking number 23, but I could be wrong. Yep. 23, one of them.
So it'll be a holding on Jefferson. And it is predicated on where the holding takes place.
Yes.
It'll be 10 yards from that spot. So we'll wait to see where the ball is placed.
Looks like it's going. Yep.
So it looks like it would essentially end up being a loss of 4 yards.
Yes.
And it would be 2nd and 7 from the Sherando 34-yard line. Excuse me. As I look to the sideline, they have their H-back Wyatt Shavley in the game, H-back tight end.
Man, he brings the physicality to basketball as well.
Yeah.
So if he's as physical in football as he is in basketball, I'm sure he's a head knocker.
I've enjoyed watching Wyatt and Will.
Yes, very much so.
In both sports. Quentin Goins with the snap. He is hitting the backfield.
Wait, throw it away. Go ahead and throw it away. Okay.
The ball.
Looks like they called the play dead, but that's some strength. That is some strength right there.
And with a quarterback that size, you kind of wish they would let that play go.
Yes.
So it ended up would be a loss of 10, and it would be 3rd down and 16. And you guys got to remember, 2 minutes ago, Evan Toole was at the 10-yard line on the play they had a holding penalty, and since that point, they've lost 33 yards. So let's see
There's not too many plays in your playbook for 3rd and 16.
No. Let's see what Spencer Powell, the go route.
Great blocking up front. You got to get it out. Good ball.
And you would have liked to seen Quentin get that ball out fast because you've seen Spencer eat that cushion up on his cornerback fast. And I feel like at that point, Goins held the ball a little bit too long. And it actually, blew an opportunity to maybe potentially get 6. So Jefferson will be forced to punt, 4th and 16 at the 43-yard line with 1 minute and 57 seconds left in the first half. And this will force Jefferson's defense to have to make a play.
They're going to have to.
Those first 2 possessions, Sherando scored at will.
And we said this was going to be an offensive shootout, and I still think that that's true. But, Sherando, obviously they just showed that they're able to stop Jefferson. Look at this punt. That's a great punt. Great punt down at the 1. You can't ask for a better punt than that. That's awesome right there. Looks like a lineman kicked that too, huh? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And one thing we talked about before, for Goins' second start ever, the game is going to slow down for him as the season goes on. He's only going to get better. He has the athletes to get it to, and as the game slows down, he's going to start seeing those things and the quick throws that he should be seeing. I know even as a young quarterback myself, and I see it in the young guys now, especially your faster quarterbacks, your more athletic. They want to run first. If everything shuts down, you want to run, but you always got to keep your eyes downfield.
And you also see them just say, I'll take a chance with my stud.
Yes.
And allow your athletes to make plays.
Sometimes that's what you have to do. You just have to trust that your athlete's better than theirs and make the throw.
And see what happens, because regardless if that ball picked off is essentially just a punt.
Like a punt, yeah. Safety.
And a safety by the Jefferson High School Cougars.
That. That's awesome right
there.
Score
is 14-8 with 1:37 left in the first quarter. And we want to apologize for the glitches in the system. We are working to get those corrected. But if you did just miss that, the Jefferson High School punter pinned Sherando down inside the 1-yard line, and the Jefferson defense gets the safety, making the score 8. And that essentially gets that extra point back.
And that just changes the whole game momentum into their favor, because now it's, we just got a safety. Those don't too often in football. So when it does happen, you have to capitalize because obviously you get those points and then you get a chance to get even more. Hopefully a touchdown or field goal, whatever it may be. They just have to turn this possession into some type of points.
Yes. And once again, we would like to apologize for any glitches or choppiness. We are working to get that corrected as we strive for a great viewing experience. The score is 14-8 Sherando. And just got the safety and will be getting their third possession of the first quarter. With 1:37 seconds left in the first quarter, Keyshawn Robinson will get the ball for the first time, and he busted it outside.
That's why you don't want to give it to him.
He breaks it, and he's out of bounds at the Sherando 7-yard line. And that's obviously why Sherando does not want to kick the ball to Keyshawn or Isaiah Fritz.
There's no doubt about it that those two are two of the fastest kids in the state, so I wouldn't want to be kicking to them either.
Actually getting them the ball in space.
Yes.
Without a quarterback having to throw the ball to him, without a halfback pitch or them taking a handoff.
Yes.
And they're allowed to get to full speed with no one around for at least 5 to 10 yards.
It's just an extra touch for them, and as the opposing team, those are two kids that you don't want to get a lot of touches, and if you do, you want to limit what they do with those touches.
Yes.
Great run.
And you would like to see Keyshawn, in a sense, be used at Debo Samuel role, i.e. how Sherando's using number 2, Gavin Blue, to just, allow him to get touches, get comfortable early, and put that anxiety inside the opposing defense, because anytime he touches the ball, he's a risk of breaking it for a touchdown.
Well, and the more you touch the ball, the more those nerves go.
Yes.
That's why, I used to be.
That first hit.
Yeah, that first hit. I usually, that first pass you throw as a quarterback, that first pass you catch as a receiver, that first long run you get as a running back, that's what really gets you going. Once the nerves go, then you just start playing football.
A gain of 2 will have it Jefferson at the Sherando 32-yard line. 35 seconds left in the first quarter. So Jefferson will have to at least one more time. So we either have a first down touchdown or there will be a fourth down.
I think they run it here, get what they can, and then go into the fourth down, seeing can get.
13 seconds left on the time clock, the play clock.
You got 9. You got to pay attention to it.
Sounds like we have some Jefferson fans that are letting
man. Don't want that.
And to be honest with you, a lot of that is, this is the second game of the season. Yeah. But you typically don't see a false start on the center.
No, you don't. Funny thing you say that is that we say we don't see it a lot, but I saw it last week in the Martinsburg game. Yeah. Sometimes, I don't know, everyone on the line hears it but the center. But he has a very important job, too, because it all starts with him. If the snap's not there, then the whole play doesn't work. So, it like we talked about second game, it's nerves, it's jitters. Maybe the quarterback wasn't being loud enough. But from the looks of things up here, it looked like everybody but the center heard the cadence.
Yeah. So at the end of one, we will have the Sherando Warriors 14 and the Jefferson High School Cougars 8. We'll take a quick commercial break.
With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Back at Jefferson High School at the start of the second quarter, we have a 3rd and 9 from the Sherando 38-yard line.
They've got to get some of these yards back, Keem, and then obviously the playbook opens up a little more.
Making it more manageable.
Yes.
Fourth down.
And number 2.
Whoa! And that is a late pass for the out route.
Yes.
An out route has to be a timing route. It's take your steps, bow, plant, and drive that ball in. We don't really have time to wait.
Yes.
And pass because, number 4 from Sherando, Caleb Richmond, he picks that off. That's touchdown.
Man, and we talked about it a little bit in the pregame, Keem.
But look at the height difference. You have a 6'3" Spencer Powell versus a 6'9" cornerback.
I'd be taking
you have to take
shots.
a chance. You have to take that shot.
Yes, sir. And maybe this is the one. Good catch.
Oh,
great catch.
That will go down as a SportsCenter top 10 catch. The one-handed grab by Isaiah Fritz, who I'm going to say right now, Isaiah Fritz is one of the best wide receivers in the state. Period. And I know sometimes that he might not get the talks other receivers get, but you give me a wide receiver, I'm picking Fritz.
Hey, I'm with you on that, Keem. I can't disagree at all.
And you gotta take a chance right now with Spencer Powell.
Yes.
6'3", Division I, Division II style wide receiver. You have to give Spencer Powell a chance right now versus a 5'9" cornerback. Hey, I'm throwing a fade.
The thing about it is, Keem, is we've said it before. We've said it probably 5 times already. Jefferson has athletes, so a lot of people are going to touch the ball. Yeah. The main thing is making the best out of that opportunity every time you touch it. That's what Fritz just did right there.
So we are now in the red zone. It will be a 2nd and 5 from the Sherando 15-yard line with 11 minutes left in the second quarter.
The great thing about that catch, too, is Goins now trusts Fritz 100%. Now I know that I can trust you to go make a play, and that's going to help them down the road.
So we have the power set, the pistol, and we will have a timeout. Jefferson. It was a little bit of confusion in the set, and instead of running a play and losing 4 or 5 yards and again being 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, they would prefer to take that timeout, be able to talk about it, and hopefully get a nice play that will allow Jefferson to get a first down or a touchdown, or be a hit of the sticks with a 3rd and short, potentially a 4th and short. So Brandon, it's obvious that both teams have athletes. It's obvious that both teams are struggling to stop the opposing team's offense. It's going to come down to a mistake. It's going to come down to a mistake that's going to lead to points. What is something, if you're a coach, Brandon, what is something you're telling your team on the defensive side to be able to help them contain either offense? Because obviously for Sherando, it's more the run game, whereas Jefferson, it's been a mix of run and pass. And a false start by Jefferson High School after the timeout. Obviously, that Coach Craig Hunter is going to be highly disappointed.
Yes.
Especially coming out of a timeout. So now it would be a second.
In football right there.
It would be a 2nd and 11. So essentially, that first down run of 5 yards is eliminated. It's lost a yard.
And I see Isaiah Fritz talking over to the sideline, telling Coach Hunter, I want this ball. This guy cannot guard me, and that's something that you love to see out of a playmaker. Just the confidence in him that he's going to make the play.
And if the pitch to Tayshawn Roper,
great
that
run.
Speed, he cuts back.
Great run.
First down at the 5-yard line, Sherando.
And you see how he put that foot in the ground and he got upfield quick.
And Tayshawn Roper has been special as a running back ever since I've seen him as a 7-year-old. He was different because he always had the speed, but those indirectly, typically a back has the speed, they don't have the power. He's always had both. First and goal at the 7-yard line. Tayshawn Roper with the cut, and he fumbles.
No,
he fumbles.
Oh man,
and it will be Sherando ball at the 1-yard line. And what did we just say? It was going to come down to a big turnover.
Yes. And one thing about we were just talking about Roper. One thing about him is, I'm close friends with. I see some social media with Newman. That kid works his tail off. He puts the work in, and it's going to translate onto this field. A fumble, you never want it to happen, but it happened because he was trying to get that extra yard, that extra push, and those type of things happen. But one thing he can't do is go over to the sideline and hang his head because they're going to need him in this football.
And I'm a firm believer that you learn from your mistakes.
Yes. That's what football is all about, and even life. That's what life's about too. You're gonna learn from your mistakes, no matter what.
Yes, and you obviously, it's me, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of out there. You believe that God's gonna put you in situations that's gonna test you.
Yes, sir.
To see how you're gonna come back and how you're gonna bounce back. Yep. And then knowing Tayshawn Roper and the parents he has in Cheryl Yates and Jed Roper, Tayshawn will be fine.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
going to bounce back. That's not his first fumble.
No, not at all.
So a gain of 4 will have Sherando at the 6-yard line. 6 with 9 minutes and 47 seconds left in the second quarter. Sherando will take their deep shot.
You got to get that.
And that was greatly defended by the Jefferson secondary. And to be completely honest with you, we have not seen Sherando be very, very efficient with the pass game. And they're going to have to do that if they're going to continue to put points on the board. So we will see. That will be something that we will be viewing going forward to see if Sherando, the sophomore quarterback, can actually be successful versus this junior, senior laden Jefferson secondary. 3rd and 6, pistol formation with the back in the backfield.
Screen.
Oh, the ball to number 2, Gavin Blue.
Number 2.
And it's all about the short passing game.
Yes.
And getting that yardage for your young sophomore quarterback. And Gavin Blue, the 5'10", 175-pound senior, is telling the quarterback, hey, follow me, trust me, just get the ball in my hands and let me create.
Especially as a young quarterback, that's all you need from him. Make the short throws.
Yes.
The long ball's not always going to be there. You have to be able to make those short throws and let your receivers make the plays. That's what they're out there to do. They make the plays. It goes in the book the same as it does for them. So.
Exactly. And as a 10th grader, you're at what? You're at most, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
His best foot hit of him.
Oh. And I like what I see from him already.
I do. I love it.
Some footwork maybe to clean up, but that's going to come as he gets older. He does have a strong arm, and it looks like he makes all the right reads as well.
And see, right there, the running back did not even have firm control of that handoff, but we're not seeing that penetration from that Jefferson defensive line. That at that point, you hit him while he's trying to get control of the ball, then that could be your own fumble.
Yeah.
So I definitely look forward to seeing the adjustment that Coach Hunter at the half, to create some penetration and pressure from those linebackers and defensive linemen.
Jefferson needs to create their own turnover. That's what's going to change that momentum again in their favor, just like that safety did. They just didn't capitalize like they needed to.
And maybe even some blitzes to even create some pressure. 1st and 10. Gavin Blue with the ball and a strong tackle by number 26, Mr. Ziti.
Playing linebackers changed a little bit now because of the game of football changing. It used to be you take your read step and you can get straight downhill if you don't have responsibility for the back or anything coming in. But now, you got to take that read step. You got to read option. You got to read the pass. You have to read the run. So
they also had that bowling ball build. That's a strong run. All Sherando's running backs run very physical. Number 6, Gabriel Doty, the 5'11", 160-pound senior. He brought the boom.
Yeah, they don't look very big, but they definitely run the ball hard.
They're very. So Nasir Jacobs is in the game.
Confused on defense right now.
Number 16, Dylan Herrick at linebacker with number 11, Nasir Jacobs, both sophomores.
Come back. Got to make the play. Ooh.
Hey, and one thing I like about what the wide receiver did on that last play is he seen his quarterback scrambling and he came back towards the ball. And that's a very cerebral play by that wide receiver.
That's just the quarterback and the wide receiver trying to be on the same page. That's practice, just building that relationship. Yeah.
Scramble drill.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes has made a career out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely part of football now, no doubt about it.
Those off-the-script plays.
Yes. It makes it harder on the DBs because they're playing defense now for 10 seconds instead of 5,
2nd and 10, Sherando at the 47-yard line.
Another hard
run. Another big hole.
Got to make that
He
play.
breaks the tackle. Gavin Blue is taken down at the 31-yard line, and these are huge holes that these running backs are running through. These are not getting small and getting through small holes. These are gaping.
These holes are your offensive line out for a steak dinner hole. That's what these are. I mean, you could drive a truck through some of these holes. That's amazing, and that just goes to show how hard that offensive line is working right now.
And they're working the weight room.
Yes. Look, number 74. He might not have killed the guy on the block,
pull.
but yeah,
He sealed him.
He sealed him, and he did his job. That's all that you can ask for.
And it will be a 2nd and 3, a 2nd and 2 at the 20-yard line.
Jefferson needs a stop right here.
Jefferson needs to hold them to at least a field goal.
Yes.
2nd and 2 at the 20-yard at Jefferson's 20 line with minutes and 47 seconds left. Another handoff.
Good play.
A tackle by 72 for Jefferson. Number 72 is Matt Henry, a 6'3", 220-pound junior. So a gain of 1. It will be 3rd and 1 at the 18-yard line of Jefferson.
I say they go to Gavin.
The power pistol set to look over to the coach. And this possession started at the 1-yard line of Jefferson.
It's a great offensive possession. Okay, they're going to throw it.
They're going to throw the ball.
Got to get it.
The
Got to
post
get
route.
Keyshawn. Ooh.
Touchdown, Sherando Warriors.
Hey.
Number 5, A.J. Santiago, 2nd touchdown of the day.
That's textbook right there. You tell all your receivers and DBs you got to go up and get it, and that's exactly what number 5 did there. Looks like he got an injury down here, Key, number 32.
And number 32 is down on the field. But that was a decision that Sherando was saying, all right, 3rd and inches, we're going to go for it on 4th down regardless. So let's take this shot right now. And that's the shot we've been talking about wanting number 7, Quentin Goins, to take with Spencer Powell.
Yeah.
And Sherando took that shot. They gave their playmaker, A.J. Santiago, who is a 5'7", 140-pound senior, just give him a chance. And he went up, made a play, and Sherando is now leading 20-8 with 6 minutes and 4 seconds left in the first half.
I think Keyshawn gave him a little too much inside.
Yes.
Maybe he opened up his hips a little too much. Because number 5, I was watching him the whole time. He ran a great route. I mean, he set him up. He really had him thinking he was going outside, and he made that one cut and got inside of him. All you can ask for.
Look, and the great thing about it is, there's a whole other half to play. There's still 6 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. The kick is up, and it is good. 21-8 Sherando with 6 minutes and 4 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. But this is going to force Jefferson, to take those shots, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the first-team All-State wide receiver Spencer Powell has only had one ball thrown his way.
And he made the catch. He made a great catch.
So,
well, he had that one we talked about. It was a little late on the delivery, so he still has to catch it, though. We will say that, but I'd definitely be taking a couple shots, because one thing about football is they're not out of this game. They've got to put a couple drives together. Hopefully they can put a drive together here, get some points out of it. If they can put some points on the boards here, go into halftime, make some adjustments, I think they'll be okay coming out.
Yeah, and you come down here and you get 7, and it scores 21-15 going into the half. So it will be interesting to see, with having a 13-point lead, if Sherando sticks with the script and Squib kicks the ball, or they will take the chance to kick the ball back to Keyshawn Robertson or Isaiah Fritz. But I'm going to put my guess on Squib kick.
No.
Well, they actually did kick the ball deep. Robertson fills the ball.
Good move.
A stutter step to the 30-yard line. He's out at the Jefferson 36-yard line. And it would be 1st and 10, Jefferson at the 35-yard line. So this is a very important possession. Jefferson, not only do they need points, but they also have to make sure it's not quick 4 and out and give the ball back to that Sherando offense.
Agreed. I think right now, if I Jefferson's offensive coordinator, I'm doing what we talked about, and I'm going to go ahead and take a shot. See what we can do, see what we can get out of it. I mean,
this first play,
it's one of, well, you see 15, he's going to cloud Spencer a little bit, but I'd still take him over number 4.
But you can use Fritz.
Yes.
You use Fritz to get rid of number 15 and get Spencer one-on-one with number 4. And number 4, Caleb Richmond, is a 5'9", 145-pound junior.
Yeah, I'm taking that matchup. And it looks like there was a little miscommunication there, but that's a great run.
That's a great run by Quentin Goins.
Keep running. There you go.
And you can tell that Quentin has built his body in the weight room as well. That's a very physical run by Quentin Goins. And Quentin actually learned the quarterback position from a mentor that I admire, Michael Grantham, in West Virginia Elite. So shout out to you, Mike Grantham.
Mikey's got the freshman team over at Martinsburg, and he's definitely done well with their kids. And they're actually all the ones that we see playing on Friday nights now. So
for multiple teams throughout
the
Eastern Panhandle. So like I said, the Michael Granthams, the David Vines, Coach Banjo from Harpers Ferry, Jason Johnson, Kevin Holmes from Shepherdstown. All these great coaches that we have in the community, I know they have to be excited and happy to see players on Friday nights.
Absolutely.
So it'd be 2nd and 9 from the 47-yard line.
And back to that run, you don't see too many quarterbacks lower their shoulder like Goins will.
No. And it would be F2, so it would be a 3rd and 5 from the 45-yard line.
And I'm still shocked that they haven't taken that shot yet, Keem. I'm waiting for it. I know they have it in that playbook. I think it's going to come here probably on this play.
To take a shot, but Sherando is playing a 2 deep right now.
Yes.
Roll out.
Right there. He's open. You got to throw it.
And Goins missed with a missed tackle in a gain of 1, and it'll be 4th and 5 from the 46-yard line. And it's interesting to see if Craig is going to go for it and potentially risk giving Sherando a great field position with 4 minutes left, or if they will punt and play for a better chance in the second half. It looks like they're going to punt right now.
Yeah, I think he's going to play it safe, which is probably the right call. Just play it safe. Punt. Number 65, he punted it down to the 1-yard line before. I know they got points out of it, but I would play it safe and do the same.
Yes, and the punter, Andrew Sturdy, 6'4", 255-pound offensive lineman, he actually is a soccer goalkeeper as well.
Oh, wow.
And another penalty.
And it looks like it's going to be on Jefferson.
Another delay of gain on Jefferson, which will push him back 5 yards. So it'll be 4th and 11 from the 49-yard line of Sherando.
Analyzing that last play, offensive play for Jefferson, I'd like to see Goins sit in the pocket a little long. I know he was rolling, but there was still a pocket forming. He needs to just go ahead and set his feet, and number 4 came open on the curl route. And he needs to see that. That's little stuff, though, that's going to come with time. Uh-oh.
And a bad snap.
Got to get on it. Oh, man.
And the ball is picked up at the Sherando, at the Jefferson 20-yard line. And it would be 1st and 10. Sherando at the Jefferson 21-yard line. And the first snap on the play that was a delay of game was high.
Yes, it was.
And the second one went even higher.
Yeah.
And the punter's 6'4", so you have a lot of margin of error.
You do. And Keem, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually played long snapper in high school. The main thing about being a long snapper is that butt in the air. His butt was way too high when he snapped that ball, which it makes the ball go high. And that's exactly what happened.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the Jefferson 21-yard line. The quarterback keeper, and it'll be a gain of 4. And what we're seeing is with the Sherando running game, they're getting 4 or 5 yards each time, if not more. But with the Jefferson game, outside of some scrambles by the quarterback Quentin Goins, they're only getting around 2-3 yards at max. So the Sherando offensive line and defensive lines have dominated this game so far. So the quick handoff the middle.
He gets
another gain of 4, which would be a 3rd and 1 from the Jefferson 12-yard line.
From what I'm
3:14
seeing,
left in the second quarter, 3rd and 1, Sherando.
Sherando's coaches, they have a great backfield right now because they're not even making a move. They're taking the handoff and they are getting downhill. The holes are there. I mean, it's full speed. They're hitting the holes, head on. So
And they're getting to that second level fast. Sherando slows it down. 2:50 left in the second quarter. 3rd and 1 from the 11-yard line. And Sherando will take a timeout. So what they essentially did was they milked the clock.
Yeah.
They're not going to allow Jefferson, which we all know has the quick strike ability, to be able to get in the end zone fast. Any extra seconds, every second matters. It's 2:45 left in the second quarter. 3rd and 1 from the 12. You're in the red zone. You have a chance to go up 28-8 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. I tell you, this game is going Sherando's way, essentially away from home.
Yeah, and I think we're probably going to see Mr. Gavin, number 2 for Sherando, touch the ball a couple times here. That's just my coaching mindset coming in. I mean, you want your best players to touch the ball, and he's been their guy tonight. So I'd probably go to him a few times before halftime if they get the first here.
And this is like right now they're going a
Looks
little
like
bit of wildcat.
Yeah.
He takes the snap.
He gets downhill fast.
And he bounces. And touchdown, Sherando. 12-yard gain by number 2, Gavin Blue.
Looks like me and on the same page there, but
and a player has ran out of his shoes.
It looks like he busted out his there. Mr. O'Shively.
Yeah.
Shively, right? Yeah.
So hopefully his parents have an extra pair of cleats in the car.
Let's hope so.
27-8 Sherando over the Jefferson High School Cougars.
Yeah, I'd be getting number 2 the ball as much as possible. From what we've seen from him, he's a playmaker.
And he's physical.
Yeah.
He's fast. Obviously, you can tell he's in shape because he's actually getting stronger as his game is going on. And the extra point is up and good. 28-8 Sherando over the Jefferson High School Cougars with 2:38 left in the second quarter. And even more than that last possession, Brandon, Jefferson needs to get some points on the board. They need a touchdown to go into feeling good about themselves, because we all know Jefferson can get on the board fast. They can score quick. So being down 20 in the second quarter is not something that they're going to sweat, but they have to score now, and that sense of urgency has to occur right now. They have to have that do or die sense of urgency.
Like you said, it's do or die now. You need to get some points going into halftime, and really put Sherando on their heels in the sense of showing them that we can be down, but we're not going to stop playing.
Yes, and if you score right now and go into the half down 13, you get the ball coming out of the half.
Can't go wrong with that.
That game that right now feels like Sherando's in total control will quickly spiral out, i.e. how that Millbrook game last week for Jefferson was. Jefferson was up 20-0, and Millbrook came back to make it 22-15, actually 21-15, and Jefferson got the touchdown to essentially seal the game away late. But obviously from having that game last week, Jefferson knows that they are capable of scoring in bunches. We all know as athletes that the games are about momentum. Jefferson just needs to take that quick strike right now. So I would just look to see a route tree that will allow Spencer Powell one-on-one versus this 5'9" cornerback for
right
Sherando.
Now, I'm like you talked about with Fritz. I'm occupying number 15, maybe with the out route, maybe a post in front of his face, and hey, we'll take a quick screen in 23 and get upfield. There we go.
Yes, and that's a great play, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about taking that deep shot down the field.
Yeah, maybe they just want to get him the ball, get those second game jitters out a little bit. He just had, I think the last he had was a drop, so get him the ball there, get him feeling comfortable. Maybe we'll take a shot here.
So 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Quentin Golan scans the field. No one is on. He tucks and runs. And he'll be tackled at the 35-yard line with 2 minutes left and 16 seconds. And you see a little bit of confusion right now from the Jefferson offensive line. for their blocking assignments.
It looks like Sherando's putting a little bit of pressure on them
Yes.
to see how well they can pick up on it. But I think Goins needs to get it out a little faster. Right there. Get it out fast. Let your athletes make the plays for you.
Because this with the Sherando cornerbacks is they're afraid of their speed. I don't think that they have the speed to match up with these Jefferson wide receivers because you see them taking that bailout technique. As soon as the ball is close against snap, they all start to bail. So those quick hitches or maybe a out and go.
Yeah.
Out and up.
I'm a big of the double move.
As you see number 4 bailing out right now.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get beat deep, but this is the play right
here.
The
wheel right to Isaiah Fritz.
Oh, hey, that's a great ball by number 7.
That's a beautiful ball by Quentin Goins. So it'll be a 2nd and 10 from midfield, and that was a route concept that allowed Fritz to get one-on-one with the cornerback. Obviously, having Spencer Powell run that post and Isaiah Fritz, the slot receiver, run that wheel route one-on-one. So we definitely would like to see a little bit more of that. And I'm sure, with the amazing coaching staff of Jefferson High School, we will see more of that right now.
You got to go back to what works, and that worked right there. So, and look here, wow.
And Quentin Goins threw him open. He threw it to his back shoulder. He didn't throw him into the cornerback that was playing in that zone coverage. So right now, what we're seeing is a 2-deep cover 2 by Sherando.
Yes. And you love to see that, especially out of a junior quarterback.
Yes.
Because most quarterbacks would have just that wide receiver was running the out, he would have just thrown the out. But he threw to where he knew he was going to sit down, just like right there.
Yeah, you like to see a little bit more zip to be able to give Orrin Humphreys a better chance. But it would be a 2nd and 10 with 1 minute and 7 seconds left in the second quarter at the Sherando 35-yard line. And Jefferson's issue hasn't been moving the ball.
No,
they've moved the ball, but this game right now has turned over. The game has switched over on that turnover by the running back at the 1-yard line. The quick screen, and you don't. From a big wide receiver like that, I don't want to see stutter step. I want to see full speed go. I want to see power. I don't want to see stutter step. I want to go through the hole. Your blockers are blocking. That's how you can actually end up in a holding penalty because you're not running up
dancing
the back.
Around, yeah.
Dancing around.
And those are what college coaches want to see too. They want to see you just put your head down and get that extra 1 or 2 yards.
And we will have a fall on Jefferson.
Man. Right now, this game's coming down to Jefferson.
Discipline,
exactly. They're hurting themselves, and that's the game of football. The more disciplined team, most of the time, is going to be the one to win.
It's discipline. Right now, Jefferson hasn't been very disciplined. Because if I'm not mistaken, I guarantee you, if there's 6 penalties in this, 5 of them have been Jefferson.
Yeah, I think that's probably 7, and you're probably right. Yeah, you were probably right.
So you would like to see a little bit more discipline from the Jefferson offensive line, because that essentially was at least the 3rd or 4th false start. Yeah. And to be completely honest with you, that's unacceptable.
It is.
That's unacceptable. And one thing from Home Team Sports TV is you are gonna get the raw truth. We're gonna be honest, and that's something that I know those kids. I know they work hard. Home Team Sports, we had Harry Brown go to a few of those relationships with a lot of these players, and they would tell you that this first half and the mistakes that have been made have been unacceptable mistakes. That if you're going to play against Musselman like you have them coming in next week at Martinsburg, you can't make those mistakes and still win. And this Sherando team is built a lot like this Musselman team that we had on our broadcast last week.
Yeah.
So once again,
I'd like to see a shot taken here.
We have a 3 deep, and actually they're blitzing up. Quick shot.
See, I like number 23. I'm just taking a shot down here, and I'm just going to say my 6'4" receiver is going to go up and get it over your 5'7" corner.
Yeah, I gotta take that shot.
And that'll just give you, if he goes up and makes a great play or a great ball's thrown in the perfect position, it's just going to give you all the momentum you need into halftime. Go make those adjustments. Your kids come out hype and ready to go. That's what you need right now. And
there's huge holes in this Sherando.
A game-changing play.
So he throws the ball up to Spencer Powell. He gives him a chance, but See, in that situation, Spencer needs to high point
Yes,
that.
he does.
He kind of waited for that ball to come down. You would like to see him high point that and get that ball at its highest point.
Use your 6'4" body and go up and get it. I mean, that's exactly what you need out of a receiver that tall.
Yes, because essentially you've actually lost your height advantage.
Yeah.
When you wait for that ball to come down. So it'll be a 3rd and 15 from the Sherando 28-yard line with 38.7 seconds left. Quentin Goins.
Got 10 seconds. We need to get the play off here.
He fakes the handoff. And the high pass is picked off at the 8-yard line by Sherando. And with 33.4 seconds left in the second half, that Jefferson possession ends in its second turnover of the game.
Yeah, and Keem, the reason he threw a high ball there is because he didn't really have too much torque and twist in his waist. The ball released was high. We'd like to see him follow through with that throw. But he's young.
Yes.
Jefferson's going to go in and hopefully make some coaching adjustments, and they're going to come out the second half a different team. So
yes, and essentially this is what we want this game early because Coach Hunter will get to see what his team is made of.
Yeah.
They will get to see a great tackle by the sophomore, here Jacobs.
He's a kid you have to be excited about.
Yes.
He is a kid that
he's a foundation kid.
Of course.
He's a foundation kid right there.
He's a kid that his role is what it is now, but it's only going to expand in the next years. It's going to have to. It's going to have to.
Yes. And he has a high level and high passion
yes.
For the game.
And a good kid. He's very
kid.
put together for a sophomore.
So looks like Sherando will take this game to the half up 20. So at the half, we have Sherando 28 and Jefferson 8. We will go to a quick commercial break. Once again, this is Home Team Sports TV.
Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker. Work, Parker. Work, Parker. Work, 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 work.
Let me get everybody.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the field your 2022-2023 Charisma Dance Ensemble, which includes first-year members Briley Barrow, Delaney Graham, Maggie Holzberger, Taylor Rankin, Cassie Stevens, Charlie Sutherland, George Sutherland, Anna Swisher, Brooklyn Tansky, Madison Tansky, and Ella Wallace. Second-year members Harper Boone, Drew Cardis, Jasmine Jackson, and Megan Puttick. And fourth-year members Sarah Puttick. Charisma is directed by Chrissy Crawford and led this year by Charisma leadership members Jasmine Jackson and Sarah Puttick, and Charisma leader in training Elizabeth. Tonight, the Charisma Dance Ensemble will be performing their jazz palm piece, Confident, choreographed by the 2022-2023 Charisma Dance Ensemble in collaboration with director Chrissy Crawford at summer camp. So let's give it up for Charisma.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty with over 30 years of experience.
Oh, that's close. Alley-oop. There's a beat.
And we are back at Jefferson High School, Cougar Stadium, where we have the Sherando Warriors, the visiting Sherando Warriors 28, and the Jefferson High School 8. We'd like to go over some halftime scores. The Musselmen are down 26-20 versus the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Minutes left in the second quarter. Brook High School is beating Indian Creek of Ohio 21-7. Buchanan Upshur is over 7-6 over Ripley. George Washington of Kentucky. Woodrow Wilson 21, Greenbrier 87. Hampshire and Frankfurt 0-0 in the first quarter. Huntington is leading South Charleston 13-0. Capital and Hurricanes 0-0 in the second quarter. Sherando leading Jefferson 28-8. Rowan County and Lincoln County 0-0 in the first quarter. Now at halftime, 26-20, Martinsburg over Musselman. Morgantown is leading Bridgeport 10-0 in the third quarter. Parkersburg 14, Riverside 7. Parkersburg South is smashing University 55-4. Double A North Marion over Preston 14-10. Spring Valley 28-7, Portsmouth of Ohio. Hedgesville and Warren County is 0-0 in the second quarter. Spring Mills is leading Washington 10-0 in the third quarter. And Willing Park blitzing Brashear, Pennsylvania 39-6. So with 3 minutes left and left of halftime, we see the Sherando team out of the locker room and on the field. We have yet to see the Jefferson High School Cougars come back out of the locker room, and you can bet it's a very passionate and fiery talk going in on the locker room.
It has to be
from Coach Hunter.
Yeah, they have to come out after halftime with the fire lit under them. I mean, they need to get after it, and they need to make the plays that they didn't make in that first half.
And they had to score early and get a turn.
Yes.
You really want to eat this cushion up, this 20-point cushion, at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
By the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking of those halftime scores, last week we had that Musselman team, and I knew by the fire and the passion of their offensive line and defensive line that they would be highly competitive against Martinsburg. And Brandon, as you've seen, the score is 26-20.
Yeah.
Going into half.
They're giving Martinsburg everything they have right now. And one thing Musselman has always been good at is they are always good up front.
Yes.
I'm sure even going back before I played and even before that, they've always had the offensive linemen. I know they have a very young guy over there. I think he might be a sophomore, and he's going to be a beast. I want to
Xavier Pollard?
Yes, Pollard.
Yeah.
He's going to be a beast. And He's a kid that you see walk in the gym, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
What position does that kid play?
I remember seeing him in 8th grade and just looking, I'm like, this kid's only 2 grades ahead of my son.
I'm telling you, I saw him as a freshman, and he's actually nephew of one of my friends, Tyreek Collier, who played at Washington. And,
I remember Tyreek.
I talk to Tyreek about him all the time, and I'm like, man, that's a kid that when he becomes a senior, he's going to be so nasty.
He's going to have D1 aspirations.
Yeah, I believe so too. He might not be the tallest guy, but he makes up for that in the weight room because he lifts, and he's not slow on his feet either. I like watching the kid play. I really do.
He honestly reminds me of a Shepherd defensive lineman.
Yeah.
You know, you see those Shepherd defensive linemen, they're 6 foot, they're very well put together, built in the gym, very stout, stocky. Martinsburg had a defensive end, the Henson kid.
Hessen. Jalen. He's coaching at Spring Mills now.
Jalen Hessen. They had Jalen Hessen a few years back, and he was a very similar build.
Yeah.
Very
and
short,
they just get after
together.
it. They've got a motor that just doesn't stop, and that's what you need as a defensive lineman.
And getting back to this game, Brandon, and playing at the highest levels, you know, in your career, what is something as a team leader, not Coach Hunter, but as a team leader, do you say to your teammates to be able to get them, you know, riled up as we listen to this amazing Jefferson band?
The band is amazing. I mean, you got the student section over there rocking as well. But
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm in here bobbing my head.
I know one thing as a team leader that I would be going into halftime saying is, the jitters are gone now.
Yeah.
Let's play football.
Yeah.
We know we can. I mean, yeah, we turned the ball over. What they have 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and the interception. We shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Let's put it all together this half. Make less mistakes. And you know, let's chip away at this lead that they have.
And what I'm doing right now as an announcer is I'm looking at the body language.
Yeah.
As you've seen Sherando come out at halftime. They're spry. You know, everybody's out here getting in work together uniformly. And I just want to see that. I want to see a very positive body language from this team because Coach Hunter is a great coach. He's a good coach, and he has the talent. Now, it's up to the players to play and maximize the talent you have inside yourself. And one thing I always try to tell my kids is just be the best you.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself to others. Don't worry. Like, yes, you compete, but be competitive against being the best you. Be better than you were that last quarter. Be better than you were that last play, and see what happens because these games change fast.
Yes, they do.
I.e., that Super Bowl where we watched a few years ago where the Falcons were up, 28-7 in the fourth quarter. And then Tom Brady and the Patriots came back and beat them in overtime and became Super Bowl champions. And I'm not saying this in some rocky, inspirational way. I'm just saying this because I've been around the game to know that when you fight, you know, you get rewarded for it. And it might not always essentially mean you're going to win this game, but that you can use that going back to another game and say, all right, no, we've already been down 20. We already fought back. We know we can do this. Like, let's rock. Let's play.
Well, and this is a game that the beginning of the year you won. Even if it, like you said, you do lose, you want every kid on that field to make sure that they're giving their all, even when the scoreboard's not going in their way.
You want to see which kids want all the smoke.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what, if I'm Craig Hunter, that's what I'm looking to see. Which kids do I know that I can take out and is going to fight with me? And that's what, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing in the second half and seeing Jefferson come out on his first possession, see what they do with that first possession, and then see those kids continue to fight for 4 quarters. Because the last thing you really want is to see, you know your team not fight. I don't believe that.
No.
I believe these kids are going to fight. I believe these kids are going to come back, and I can't guarantee they're going to win, but what I can guarantee, this game is going to be close going into that fourth quarter. And that's what, you know, I believe. I've actually seen this offense work. And if you really think about it, one game doesn't break your season.
No, not at all.
And especially against an out-of-state opponent. This is not going to break your season. So you're fighting with how.
Yeah.
And I just want to see Jefferson can compete because coming in here next week is the Musselman Appleman. And we are seeing the fight and the commitment that they're bringing to Martinsburg. And their freshman team, did just beat Martinsburg's freshman team. So they're building from the bottom up. And you see number 16 and number 4, they're bringing that energy that we were just talking about.
Body language, the positive body language.
That's the body language I want to see.
And that you do see, I mean, you take a peek down there on Jefferson sideline, you don't see the head down. You don't see the pouting, which is good for them. I mean, and that's probably what Coach Hunter went in the locker room and spoke to them about.
That's a culture change.
Because before, you come out at halftime, you might look up at the scoreboard and just say, man, we lost this one. But it doesn't seem like that's their mindset right now.
And it's amazing how it's amazing to see how Sherando's mindset changed.
See, this
Keyshawn Robinson,
he's got
and if he's even, he's leaving.
Don't even
touchdown, Keyshawn Robinson.
That's exactly what they needed.
And that's what they needed. They needed that. And Keyshawn Robinson from Wildwood Middle School puts Jefferson on the board, 28-14. 14 seconds gone in the second half, and Jefferson is already on the board.
Yeah.
And we just spoke about that. The positive body language from the team going on the kickoff. That's the sign of a well-coached team. So big ups to Craig Hunt.
He went in and said what he needed to say to them.
Yes,
that's for sure.
And right now, what you can't afford the kicker to miss his extra point.
No, we need this. They need this one right here. And man, Keyshawn is fast.
Keyshawn,
isn't he?
Do you see how he ate that cushion though?
Man, he did.
Because number 84 wasn't slow.
Yeah. He put it in that fourth gear.
That's 10. That is the kick is up and it's good. 28-15. Sherando with 11 minutes and 46 seconds left.
They needed
in the first half. Now let's see if this can actually go over to the defense. The defense needs to stop now.
Right now.
4 and out.
Yep.
You need 4 and out. Get the ball back to your offense. Make the score 28-23 or 28-22. And then next thing you know, the anxiety seeps in to Sherando.
Yeah.
And
that's Sherando's over there on their toes now too.
Well, yeah, and that's most likely the last kickoff we're going to see kick. But it was a move where Sherando was confident. Like we're up 20. Let's kick it back there. You guarantee that won't happen again.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it.
I wouldn't have did that time.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I would.
With a kid like that, man,
and that's 10-6, 100-yard pass. And honestly,
fastest kid in the state, isn't he?
No. If it wasn't for the kid from Willen Park, Keyshawn Robinson would be the fastest kid in the state.
Okay, there's one more.
There's a junior from Willen Park that,
just fast.
He's just real fast.
Yeah.
And other than him, Keyshawn Robinson is the second fastest kid they see this year.
Yeah,
because Keyshawn's only getting bigger and stronger.
I've never been a track guy. Didn't really do it in high school, but my girl is. I mean, she's all track. That's all. She loves it. Her family loves it. So it's something that I'm going to have to start paying attention to as my kids get older. So.
And as I sit beside Wildwood's head coach David Vines, I see 2 Wildwood Mustangs, Leland Benner and Takeem Drake, out on the kickoff team. And that's where it starts.
Yeah.
As a freshman, you're typically used to being the big man on campus, Gavin Blue with the fake pitch. And Jefferson swarms that up. The tackle by number 35, the freshman Takeem Drake. And that's how you build your program. So essentially what I'm saying is a lot of these kids, they come up and they're the stud of their team, or they're one of the better players. And then you come up to high school and you have to wait your turn.
Yeah.
And you start from the bottom, special teams. And obviously, essentially, if you're an elite player, you might be able to crack on up as a freshman. But you like to see those kids compete at that level where you're coming down, and Gavin Blue has been giving us the blues, for the first half. That tackle. So Jefferson's coming out very spiritual.
Yeah, I'm shocked you said number 35 is a freshman because he was the first one down there, too. I mean, he beat everybody down.
And again, missed tackles, and Sherando gets a gain of 7 yards. They definitely – Brandon, what you said, it's a will.
Yeah.
You have to want to put your body through someone else.
Yeah.
And right now, we're really not seeing that commitment, and hopefully that changes.
Like I said earlier, it's all about being the hammer or the nail. Like right now, Sherando's running backs are
the hammer.
They're the hammer. They want to. Like I said, they want it more, and that's evident right now. So.
And to be honest with you, all it takes really is a big hit.
Yes.
To let them know.
And they'll stop running like that.
Hey, we here.
They will.
Yeah, we here.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see from Jefferson. obviously we didn't get the 4 and out that we spoke about. But that's essential. They cannot have that play and have Sherando go right down there and run the ball down and throw and score a touchdown.
It's got to be on both sides. They have to do the all around stuff.
Yeah,
all 3 aspects.
The game's three special teams, offense and defense, and they all 3 have to be cohesive.
And that's one thing playing at Martinsburg that those coaches put so much emphasis on, and you can tell just by the play of special teams, because it is such a big aspect of the game, especially now.
I mean, there's players in the NFL.
They make a living on special teams.
They make a living off of special teams. And the quarterback scrambles out, and he is knocked out of bounds by Nolan Meeline for a gain of 1. And one thing I am going to say is Nolan Meeline.
He gets after Yes, he does.
Nolan brings it every single game, sideline to sideline. There's a reason why he was all area and I want to say all-state honorable mention as a sophomore. So hopefully,
looks like he's the quarterback of that defense.
He's definitely the quarterback of the defense.
So calling the plays for him and
second and 10 from the Sherando 38-yard line.
Downfield.
The handoff, and he is brought down.
They need that.
After a gain of 3, and yes, that's what you want to see from the Jefferson D-line. You want to see them be that wall stopper. He ran into a wall, and he bounced back.
Yeah.
So, a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 40-yard line, and Jefferson needs to make a stop and get off the field right now. Let's see if Sherando changes the snap count and try to see if they can get Jefferson off sides. They did not. The handoff to number 2, Gavin Blue, and he burst through. And it is a first down, Sherando.
Yep.
Once again,
like number 55.
Missed tackles. Get a couple shifts. And Gavin Blue for a gain of 8. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Sherando 49-yard line.
And like we've talked about before, Gavin Bly is a player.
He is.
I mean, he really is a player.
Yeah, he is.
It seems like he's not one-dimensional. I mean, he's played running back. We've seen him in the Wildcat. Obviously, he's caught a couple passes. So I'm impressed with this kid.
My apologies to Gavin's parents. Gavin Bly, not Gavin Blue. But Gavin Bly right now is putting his hat so far as for the catch-all player of the game.
Yeah.
He's essentially, whenever they needed a big play, they went to Gavin.
Yeah.
Whenever they needed a big run, they went to Gavin. Now, what's unfortunate is that was 3rd and 7, and Sherando felt comfortable enough to say that we're going to get this 7 yards through the ground, on the ground. We didn't even go through the air.
That's having confidence in your offensive line and your running back. But
your quarterback may have 3 to 4 passes all game.
Yeah.
And you're leading 28-15. So when you're going to go against a Musselman, you're going to go against a Bridgeport, then you're going to go against a Martinsburg. Those teams are physical and they run the ball. So you have to shore up, this ability to get run through right now for the Jefferson High School Cougars. Essentially because this is not going to go away.
No.
There's a lot of teams on their schedule that have the capabilities of
you have to stop the run.
You got to be able,
you really
that's
do.
the first thing.
Yeah, you have to stop the run because if not, that running will open everything else up.
Quarterback pressure.
And
the quarterback gets out of the pocket. And instead of being a sack and a loss of 5 yards, he gets out of the pocket and he gets to throw the ball away. And essentially now it's only 2nd and 10.
Yeah.
You didn't lose.
That's all you can ask of, especially from a quarterback. That's him knowing the situation. Game management, as we call it. It's just play the next play. We're not going to throw up a crazy ball, have an interception. So that was awesome by him.
At number 30, the freshman Leland Benner in at defensive end. The quick pass to A.J. Santiago for a first down. And he slight a build. He reminds me, I wonder if he wears number 5. Because he kind of looks like Hollywood Brown a little bit.
Hey, he's definitely, you can tell he's a little athlete. I mean, remember the touchdown he had over there. He got it. So, looks like he has the speed and the athletic ability to go with it. So,
and he took a big hit.
He did.
Being 5'7", 140 pounds, he was fearless. that pass over the middle. He
down.
wasn't afraid to get hit. He caught the ball. He exploded up, and most likely it's probably early season cramps. Heat. Athletes, please hydrate days before you play. I've always eaten bananas before I competed. I learned that from Ron Frazier. To be able to eat bananas before you compete.
Bananas, pickles, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. And you just prepare. You have to be prepared days in advance.
And that's the main difference between, you go from middle school football, little league. In Berkeley County they don't have the middle school football, but you go from little league, middle school to high school, and even from high school to college. It's the little things that really changes the game, mentally and physically, what you're doing outside of the field. And that's what a lot of these kids, because Jefferson has some kids, Sherando looks like they have some kids too that are going to play at the next level. And it's all about the little things and really taking care of your body, like you just said.
And I'd like to take this time right now to thank our sponsors, our title sponsor, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, VFW Post 3522, HD's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage, Chris Page at Quality Lawn Care, our halftime show sponsor, L&L Handyman Services, and our post-game show and player of the game sponsor, K-Show Law. We will have a 1st and 10 from the Jefferson 39-yard line, a quick handoff to number 25 for Sherando, Jason Foster. And he lowered the boom. Once again, he was the hammer, not the nail, but it would be a holding on Sherando. And honestly, I do want to take this time to talk about how well coached Sherando is. This, to me, seems like this might be their first penalty of the game.
I think it might be. They're very disciplined. They very well are. I mean, they've been like that for a long time too.
Sherando's always been very well coached. They've always been a team. Like, I've always enjoyed watching Sherando play. I've always enjoyed watching Musselman play. And for some of the viewers that may be a little bit older, a team that I also enjoyed play back in the day was Fort Hill Sentinels.
Yes.
Fort Hill, you knew when you were playing against Fort Hill, you had to bring it. And Allegheny Campers.
Yeah, well, actually one of the most competitive games I've ever played in. It was a JV game. We ended up beating Fort Hill 36-34.
Yeah.
Safety won us the game, actually. And it was a crazy game.
Yeah, Fort Hill, they definitely brought it in. And they no longer play these teams down here.
They do not. I think the last time we played them might have been my junior year.
And I love how creative Sherando is in getting Gavin Bly the ball. That right there, and it goes down as a pass.
Yeah.
And that was a gain of 5.
Positive yardage is all you have to do on offense, and that's what Sherando's doing. I mean, it just seems like 4 or 5 yards every time someone touches the ball.
And very rarely do you see Sherando get vertical. They're essentially short passes, short screens. The freshman is after him.
Good job, 34.
And Nolan with the big hit. And the freshman Leland Benner in the game right now, and he's competing. And that's the first time we've actually seen pressure on the quarterback. Pressure on the quarterback for Leland Benner.
He got off the ball. I mean,
yeah.
As soon as that ball was snapped, he was ready to go, and that you don't see that out of a freshman. Most of the time, they're a little intimidated, but he's out there getting after it.
And you can see Leland's been in the gym.
Yes.
You can see Leland's been in the gym. And his dad has been one of the better coaches in Jefferson County. So, but definitely is no surprise. And now they have a blocker over on his side, so it won't be as easy. But Leland with the quick pressure, the screen play, and another screen play. A fumble out of bounds, but another screen play by Gavin Bly, and a 20-yard gain. 1st and 10, Sherando.
I'm not sure at this point in the game if I'm not spying on number 2. I mean, he's just
you gotta bracket him now.
Something. I mean, I'm gonna try to take him away from this game somehow.
And make someone else beat
someone else is gonna have.
And he's not beating you down the field. He's beating you with quick screens and running the ball. So, you have to make that adjustment because obviously you can't let one person single-handedly dominate you like this.
A
little miscommunication in the backfield.
Number 30. Number 30.
And
32.
and honestly, for him to be able to only lose 2 yards, that's a great run.
It is.
Because he didn't even have possession of the ball.
Quarterback turned one way, running back went the other. That's
Exactly.
the worst that can happen in the
and
backfield.
Still only lost 2 yards. So it'd be 2nd and 12 from the 29-yard lines of Jefferson with 7 minutes and 26 seconds left in the third quarter. A very time-consuming drive. That quick inside handoff to Glavin Bly, only for a gain of 2. So once again, Jefferson's in a 3rd and long on defense.
They need to get off the field.
Right now, I'm doing the same thing that Sherando's doing with Spencer Powell by having a cornerback and a safety over number 2. And I'm going to make someone else beat me.
You have to.
So we have a Cougar down on the field. So Brandon, Jefferson comes out. They take the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. The score is 28-15. Down 13. Sherando's driving with the ball at the 28-yard line. You make a stop right here. Obviously, if it's third and 10, if you stop them and it's 4th and 10, they might kick a field goal, or you're forcing them to go for it, and you can get the ball at the 30-yard line, which is pretty good field position. What are you doing right now on this defensive possession, on this defensive play, to be able to get the Sherando Warriors off the field?
I'm probably, as the defensive coordinator, I'm in that huddle, and I'm looking every kid in the eye, and I just want to see who's going to go make me a play. Who's going to be that dog on the defense that we need to step up and get us off the field. That's what Jefferson's looking for. They need to make the on defense. We know they can score, but at this point they need to get Sherando's offense off the field so that they can put the ball in the end zone.
I'll take it down.
3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. Sherando at the Jefferson 28-yard line. As the people on the bench are imploring the crowd to get hype. A little false start by the slot receiver, but not called.
Like the running back moved a little quick too.
The ball's up to
Gavin
Gavin Bly.
Good
Picked off by Spencer Powell.
That's what they needed.
And he is bounds at the 4-yard line.
That's what they need right there, though.
Yeah.
It's a momentum changer.
And honestly, a team that's going to be highly successful versus Sherando, they're going to take away and force the quarterback to beat them.
You want that sophomore quarterback making the decisions rather than getting the ball in number 2's hands and letting him make the decision.
So what I'm doing is I'm putting a lot of people in the box. I'm going to one-on-one coverage with their wide receivers, and I'm going to force the quarterback to beat me.
You have to. At this point, you have to. And I'm not even opposed to, like you talked about, bracketing number 2 and just having someone follow him everywhere he goes.
I gotta stop this Sherando running game. I'm gonna put as many people in the box as possible.
And right here, I'm taking a shot. I mean, I like the screen. Get it in your playmaker's hand. I mean, he's as fast as they come. Beat him. I knew that.
And the sideline was the defender for number 45 for Sherando. And this is what if you're Jefferson High School, this is what you have to do. You have to realize that there's not going to be a team in the state that's going to be able to one-on-one any of these receivers.
Well, I mean, we've seen it. He's as fast as it gets in high school football, and he really doesn't do too much dancing. He makes one cut and he do it, and you can't ask of a better receiver. Looks like we got a false start on the receiver over there on the far sideline. Yeah, number 2, I believe they called it on.
And essentially that play is frustrating because the play for Sherando, 2 people moved in the ball and it wasn't called.
I saw the running back doing some pre-snap moving.
Yes, and nothing was called. So with 6 minutes and 32 seconds left in the third quarter.
I'd like to see him touch the ball a little more as well.
Oh my goodness, Evan!
Great run. Great run.
So what they say is, that was a hit stick, truck stick.
Truck stick, yeah.
reminded me a little bit of Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl back in the 80s. See, Brandon, you probably
I'm a little young. I'm a little young for that.
You're probably a little young. I remember competing against my older brothers. I was just a young little whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Playing Tecmo Bowl with my brothers and my pops. I always wanted to use the Raiders because when Bo Jackson ran you over, it's like he kicked and everybody would just bounce off of you.
That was that run right there. That's things that, like we talked about before, that gets Sherandos on their toes.
Yeah.
They're not coming up and really being the hammer anymore when they know that you're bringing it like he just brought it.
And what do we just say? It only takes a couple of those plays.
That's all it takes.
Where people start to be able to shy away from that contact. Start trying to go at your legs and diving at your legs and not even driving through and chopping you down and start diving at your legs. And if Jefferson can get a touchdown on this possession, then this makes this a very, very interesting game.
It does. It's going to be I think if they score here, it's going to be a game that's down to the wire. And that's what they need. They need to turn that interception into points.
So right now the score is 28-15. Sherando with 6 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first half. In the third quarter. My apologies. I said first half, second quarter. I went through almost the whole Rolodex. So we're back, 2nd and 4 from the 46-yard line of Jefferson. That's a quarterback design run by Dylan Herrick. It'll be a first down Jefferson at the 50-yard line. And Dylan is a sophomore. And what Jefferson is doing right now is it's a little bit of a change of pace. That physical run tool, right now they want to exert their will physically on this young Sherando team to see if they can maintain that physicality for a full 4 quarters. And an errant snap. Dylan gets the ball.
Okay, turn it into positive yards. Yeah.
Dylan, he's fast.
Those are those plays we talked about before that, it doesn't go the way you want, but he turned it into positive yards.
And it looks like, obviously, Dylan's a little bit more spry of the feet than Quentin Goins. But also, this takes away the pounding that Quentin can take over the year running the ball.
You see a lot of high school teams going to the two-quarterback system.
You
see it a lot, and I know Martinsburg's used it a good bit over the past few years. And
look at
it's
Evan
effective.
run. Look at the way Evan runs.
Pad level's always down, and he's always the one initiating contact.
And I remember watching Evan in Jefferson, and he always had a couple injuries that prevented him from playing full seasons. That's how I know that Evan really took it to heart and worked on his body because he's been on the field. He's been available over the last couple of years, and he's been one of the best running backs in the state.
I agree with you. I know a couple years ago he had a nice one-handed catch against Martinsburg, and I was shocked at not only the catch but what he did after he caught it. He ran a kid over, got some positive yards out of the play.
And I wonder if this dominant running so far is going to set up play-action pass short.
We know Goins can throw the ball.
Yes.
We've seen that. We know he has a strong arm. Right now, he just needs to, from my point of view, sit in the pocket and really see the whole field, and the openings are there.
The ball to Evan Toole. Run up the middle for a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 5 at the 33-yard line. And you're at the 30-yard line.
Like,
my personal opinion, obviously, it's clear that this would be 2-down territory.
Yeah.
Do you do what Sherando did to A.J. Santiago and take your chance of throwing the ball up top right here?
If I'm coaching, I'm taking a shot right now. And then, like you said, it's 2-down territory, so we can come back and – yep, there's the shot.
It takes –
oh, my goodness.
And the ball is stolen by the free safety of Sherando, and it will be 1st and goal, be 1st and 10 Sherando.
And, Keem, the read there was Spencer Powell. I mean, you had the 50 and the outside linebacker covering that slot receiver. You got one-on-one with Spencer Powell. You need to just go ahead and set up to him and let him make the play.
And there was too much air under that in that pass. It was way too much air. It allowed the safety to come over because Fritz had him beat.
He did. He did at first.
Fritz had him beat, and that's a ball that you want to put
back of the end
on the
zone.
line. Yeah, you want to put on the line.
Yeah. I think that comes down to that play Fritz made in the first half, that one-handed catch over 2 defenders. I think it came down to Goins saying, okay, I trust this guy, but I think he got a little too locked in on him. And I think he needs to go ahead and that's one of those plays that, in Monday on film, the coaches are circling Spencer like, hey, this is where you need to go with this ball.
I mean, we're into the late third quarter, and we haven't seen one jump ball. Powell, and Spencer's 6'4", 185 pounds, and runs a 4.5 40, going against a 5'9" cornerback that's 140 pounds. And at some point you got to throw the ball up and give him a chance. I don't know why it's not happening, but it needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon. Because you can't continue to get the ball into this area and not get points, because that is the difference in the game. Jefferson has been down inside the red zone twice and has had turnovers, whereas Sherando has punched it in. So with 3 minutes left and 23 seconds left in the third quarter, Sherando's at the ball at the 1 yard line. They go a little wildcat with Gavin Bly.
And this is where you just need to send the house and get them downhill. You don't want that.
And Gavin Bly breaks it for a gain of 11. First down, Sherando. And Gavin is ground right now.
It looks like 2 cramps are happening right now.
And to be honest with you, I don't want to see him off the field.
No, and we got Nasir Jacobs down here with the cramp. It looks like as well.
First down, Sherando at the Sherando 11-yard line with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The cross buck handoff met by a host of Jefferson Cougars. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 from the 13-yard line.
Jefferson needs a stop here. They need a stop. They get a punt, get in good field position. That's all they really need right now.
And their star linebacker, Nolan Mayline, is on the ground. We're going to go to a quick commercial break.
Provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
And we are back at Jefferson High School, 2:43 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 8 from the Sherando 20-yard line. Sherando with the ball. the inside handoff off the fake pitch.
Make the play. There you go.
And, but he avoided the sack. You've seen defenders tackling a little too high, and allowed him to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. So it would be 3rd and 8 from the 15-yard line, and Jefferson needs a big stop.
They need to get off the field. Their defense has been on the field way too much tonight, and they need to stop here, and this will really put the game in their favor.
And you got, it's number 2, Gavin Blau on the field. I don't see him right now.
I don't see him. Go ahead, yes, sir.
Oh, and a sack!
That's what they need right there.
By Jefferson at the 2-yard line
56.
by number 56. Chase Hageman, the 11th grader, 6'2", 185. Now, Brandon, do you punt the ball, do you diagonal punt out of bounds, or do you kick the ball away from Keyshawn Robinson, because Tayshawn Roper is just as dangerous?
I wouldn't be kicking it to him. I'm going to play it smart and probably try to tell my punter, just go ahead and maybe if you can get the bounce, kick it out of bounds, but just
kick.
Yeah.
Rugby style kick. Hopefully you can get the ball to roll to the 40-yard line or midfield. Get the ball out your hands. Get the ball out your hands and off on your foot real fast.
If I'm Sherando, I'm definitely not kicking it number 2's way. But like you said, number 6 is just as dangerous. So,
and Jefferson is forced to take another timeout. And right now, we have an update on the Martinsburg game. Martinsburg gets 7 off of a major catch and run by the Spring Mills transfer Jameer Hunter, and Martinsburg leads 30-20 in the 3rd quarter. The game we have right here is 28-15 Sherando with 11 minutes left. With 1 minute and 12 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Sherando is at the 4-yard line, about to punt to Jefferson deep in their territory.
You'd like to see Jefferson just send the house and get after this one.
Get a punt block.
Really try to get that punt block and really change momentum in this game.
Essentially put you down 11.
Yeah.
A touchdown, you're down by a field goal. So it makes it a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
Waiting for the official whistle. The whistle is blown. The play clock is running.
Bad snap.
And the ball is kicked to Tayshawn Roper. They kicked it away from Keyshawn Robinson. Roper fields the ball. He speeds to the other side of the field to the 30. And he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Jefferson will be 1st and 10 line. And honestly, after every right now, there's a player from both teams that are cramping up.
This is when, like you talked about before, it doesn't seem like these players were drinking water earlier in the week. It seems like they probably tried to just get it all in yesterday and think that if they drink water today that their body's going to be able to handle all this.
And that's not going to work.
Not at all.
You have to hydrate. You have to get your potassium in your body to prevent these cramps.
Football's a long game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're out here. It might be spurts, but it is a very long game.
So I wouldn't be shocked. Right now. A nice strong run by Evan Toole, and then a play action pass to Spencer Powell. Close they are to the line. And the safety is on the other side of the field. Right now you got to take a shot to Spencer Powell.
They're going to get him the ball.
And they've taken their shots by trying to throw screens. But once again, you're 6'4", and he's 195 pounds. You have to give him a shot down the field.
Yes, sir. I'm with a kid like that. I think he's getting at least probably 4 shots a game.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to. And they have the athletes everywhere else that they can do it with them, but with that frame, I mean, I'm just going to say, hey, you go up and make a play.
Yeah. And a quick pitch to Tayshawn Roper. Roper will be knocked out of bounds for a gain of 5. And obviously, as a running back, you would have liked to see Tayshawn go inside that block, but not try to bounce that outside.
Yeah.
If he cuts his foot, plants up, and he kicks it up there, that's definitely a first down. And a missed tackle, it could create an opening for a touchdown. That's not the play you want to bounce to the outside.
Not at all. And a lot of times, especially with the younger kids, think that we throw you a toss you have to go outside. No. The cutback is one of the most dangerous things when you are running the toss play.
Especially with being fast and having that speed that you can press that hole. And as soon as you get through that hole, it's like being shot out of a cannon.
Foot in the ground and go. Yes, sir.
So at the end of 3, the Jefferson Cougars are down 28-15. We'll take a quick commercial break. Driving 2. So
I'd like to see a quarterback power here.
Yeah.
You have the big quarterback. Just have him get downhill, or that's fine as well. You got a hard runner and tools. So
and Evan has really he's really inserted his impact into the game in that third quarter. And honestly, as the game has gone on, this hasn't been a game of equally matched teams. Sherando's offensive line was so dominant in that first half, but Jefferson seemed to solve that.
Picked it up a little bit
in the second half.
It seems like Coach Hunter went in at halftime and told them everything they needed to hear.
And it looks like right now Evan is a little bit tired, so you'd like to see him get spelled for a little bit to see if the fresh legs of Tayshawn Roper can take advantage of the tired legs of Sherando. And maybe, like I said, one missed tackle and you're getting into the end zone.
See,
so once again, you're in the red zone.
I'm taking a shot.
I'm taking a shot. I'm throwing this fade to Spencer. I'm throwing this fade to Spencer right now.
Look how much room you have over there. Just put it up in the back of the end zone and see if he can go get it.
And, you see?
Yeah, we'll take
and what is – are you getting tired mentally?
Yeah.
No,
that's when the discipline starts to –
These aren't the mistakes we've seen Sherando in the first half.
Like you said, when you get tired, that's when it really takes over. Because mentally, you just have to be prepared. You have to be disciplined. Really do
and Jefferson has to take advantage.
They have to. I mean, they have to get in the end zone.
This is like the third or fourth time they've been down into the red zone area, and they've only scored once. So you definitely have to.
I'd like to see. Don't want to see that. Yep. I'd like to see them. I mean, it looks like Sherando's running a cover 0 right now. They're just saying my man is better than yours. I'd really like to see them just go ahead and.
And a loss of 6 will have Jefferson at 3rd and 10 from the 15. And Brain, that's what we just talked about. Jefferson is here multiple times, but self-inflicted.
They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Injuries, turnovers or penalties has prevented them from putting points on the board. And right now they don't even have the chance to kick a field goal. They have to score a touchdown right there.
And I like.
And the ball is picked off. And Sherando is once again quelched a Jefferson possession inside the red zone. And
Keem,
obviously that was a pass to Spencer Powell, but that's not the play we've been calling for. We've been calling for the fade. It was a slant thrown late over the middle.
And that's something you can never do. And it seemed to me like Goins was locked in on his receiver the whole time. I knew where he was going with that the whole play, and I'm sure
me as well.
Sherando's defense did too. It looked like. I think they wanted to get Spencer the ball, but I don't know if that was the way to do it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't understand why they're not taking advantage of that fade. But at first play, number 25,
he gets
Mr. Jason Foster for a 15-yard run to the Jefferson 38-yard line, and now he's cramping.
The first couple weeks of football season, you see a lot of this. Unfortunately, high school kids, you can tell them every single day, but once they go home, if they're not doing it on their own, then
you're dealing with 14 to potentially 19-year-old kids that at this stage of life, me being a parent, they think more than you do sometimes at some points. I'm pretty sure that maybe after this game and seeing so many people cramp up, he'll listen to mommy or daddy next time.
Hey, I'm fortunate. Mine are only 6 and 7 right now, so I know they're gonna think they know everything when they get older, though.
Yeah, I have a son in 8th grade right now, and there's times where I'm just like, man, go ahead and learn your lesson the hard way. Yeah, go ahead and learn your lesson the hard way, but don't cry. Don't cry when something bad happens, because I'm gonna be sitting here. I'm gonna make you acknowledge it first.
Sometimes you have to do that. You have to let them learn
the hard love, the tough love. And Sherando, look, and
love.
Sherando smells blood right now.
Yeah.
They know that the Jefferson morale is down, and right now they're punching them in the face. And honestly, a touchdown right here seals the deal.
And you see who they're going to when they want to seal the deal.
Gavin Bly. And Jason Foster.
I mean, he is, I think, one of the best players we see on the field tonight.
He has been the best player on the field tonight, to be completely honest with you. And look at this. You know, just 5 minutes ago, Gavin was just laying on the ground, putting up both legs. And the hydration and the trainer of Sherando has gotten him back full force. And it'll be 2nd and 4 from the Jefferson 20-yard line. And just look how quickly Sherando has gotten into the red zone area. And jumped off sides. Well, actually, will it be a false start by number 6?
Yep, false start. And you see how number 11 jumped onto his receiver after that? That's
ability.
Yeah, and that's what a quarterback needs to do. You need to really hold all your players accountable. And for him to be a sophomore and you see that, that goes to show that he really cares.
To be a sophomore and to be leading a team as good as Sherando, we already know what kind of player he is.
Yes.
The quick handoff into Gavin Bly, and he is swarmed at the 22-yard line, a gain of 4. It would be 3rd and 4 from the 22-yard line. And honestly, I have a saying. I truly believe that sometimes desperation brings out the best in you. Jefferson's going to be forced if they get the ball back and only down 13. They have to get chunk yards.
Yeah.
Because they're running out of time.
They're going to have to throw the ball.
The high snap. The fade to number 5. And a touchdown, Sherando. And Sherando took that chance that we've been asking for the last 2 quarters.
It's apparent that Sherando trusts number 5 to go make plays. I mean,
A.J. Santiago,
yes.
He got away with a little push to create the separation, but it wasn't enough.
I think it was within the frame, though, to where it really wasn't maybe a chicken wing, chicken wing. Maybe.
It wasn't enough for the referee to call it. And honestly, you know, Jefferson's had the ball inside the 25 to 30-yard line 4 times. They didn't get any touchdowns. This is a game, you're not going to blame a call right there.
No, not at all.
This is a game that the self-inflicted turnovers and mistakes and fumbles. We had 2 interceptions inside the 20. And we had a fumble inside the 5. And you're down 20. So
yeah, they definitely can't say that they got outplayed tonight.
No.
All they have to go in on Monday and really just think about how they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
I mean,
shot themselves in the foot. Poor tackling.
A couple offsides penalties.
A couple false starts.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just you know, it's early in the season. Some of these kids, this is their first varsity action. Where they're realizing, you know, just how fast it is. But unfortunately, at the highest level, you can't have these types of mistakes.
No. And those are the things that win and lose you a ball game.
Yeah.
Your turnovers, and look at Sherando.
And Sherando with the onside kick, and they filled the ball. And that is a coach that is going for the kill.
Yeah, and you can't be mad at a coach like that, because it just goes to show that his kids aren't going to quit whether they're up or whether they're down.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I think Coach Hunter needs to really just – right now he's looking at all his kids, and he's going to see really what they're made of.
Yeah, you're to see what body language
Yeah.
these kids come out, because right now looking good, but you want to see them continue to compete.
Yeah. When adversity, you really see what you're made of.
And the freshman Leland Benner is in there. He's played a lot in the second half, and that bodes well for Jefferson's future as well, to have that level of confidence and trust in him. But also it bodes well that he's going to compete. He's out there, he's playing hard. And look right there, first tackle by the freshman Leland Benner. And I'm proud of that kid, to be completely honest with you.
To be a freshman playing
against
Friday nights.
And against a physical Sherando team.
He might be big the rest of the year. He's holding his own to be a freshman.
Yeah, Musselman.
Musselman, yeah.
Yeah, Musselman will have a big
Martinsburg's lines. But Sherando, hey.
Oh, the quarterback keeper.
And this is what he to do all night.
And that's a great tackle by number 4. That's an amazing tackle. Orrin Humphreys, the 5'10", 160 pounds. And Orrin, and if people don't know, Orrin was a kicker last year, kicker only.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Orrin was a kicker only, and now he's a starting free safety and wide receiver. Is him working hard.
Number 2.
That defensive end, number 55. He might not have made the tackle, but he made that play.
Yeah.
He pushed them back inside.
And that's the thing about football team is you might not make the play, but if you do your job, that's all that you can ask for. That's why it's the ultimate team sport, because everyone has to do their job for the plays to work.
You do. And you have to be willing to put your body on the line.
Yeah.
Substitution for Alejandro Martinez is will now be a free safety. So it is 4th and 5 from the Jefferson 44-yard line. It'll be a timeout, Sherando. So Jefferson comes out. They start off the second half with a bang. And since that point, they've had 2 turnovers inside their 30-yard line, and they see themselves down 20. So if you're Coach Hunter, what are you telling your starting quarterback Quentin Goins right now? Are you telling him, listen, you know what, we're competing to get better every week? Yes, we've had a couple bad plays, but you've also played pretty well. You've driven the ball. The total yardage has to be over 400 yards, but it is not. It is not finishing drives, and that's a pattern of behavior that has to be created. Now you create that mindset, you create that behavior that we're going to be disciplined and we're going to finish drives.
I think what Coach Hunter is going to do is he's going to pull back, and being that he's only a junior, this is his second start. He's going to show him love.
Yeah.
Really tell him all the good things he did, because as he knows that he threw those 2 picks.
And a quick pitch, number 5, A.J. Santiago.
Good play by number 55.
It will be measurable.
I don't think he got it. Oh, wow, they're giving it to him.
Let's see if they bring out the chains.
I think they have to. You have to. And they're already moving them. You can't move them yet. But no, I think Coach Hunter's going to do right by his quarterback. He's going to go in and tell him that you didn't play the worst game of your career. Granted, it might not have been the best game, but there are obviously in every game there are things that every player is going to do good and bad. You want to make sure
especially
they
the
know.
quarterback position.
Yeah.
You take so much of the heat.
You do.
When you make mistakes.
Yeah.
Realizing that it's a team game.
It really
is. And there's been so many plays.
I think he's short. Yeah, he's got to be short. Oh.
Down Sherando.
I don't know about that one, King.
and the Jefferson fans, are going off. But hey, listen, we're not gonna make excuses.
No,
we're not going to make excuses. And to be honest with you, if this is my team, I'm not even allowing this.
Yeah.
Go out and play the game. Don't worry about what the officials are doing. Everybody calm down. Keep yourself mentally prepared. Keep yourself mentally locked into the game.
They just picked up another penalty, Keem. So that doesn't help at all.
No. And that's just what I'm saying. You don't even want to allow yourself an out.
Martinburg just scored again, it looks like. There are some bright spots that you can take from this game for Jefferson, though. I mean, special teams, they didn't play bad. They got a lot of return yards, and then you get a safety on defense. Granted, you didn't stop Sherando as many times as you needed to, but there are some bright spots, and they got athletes all over the field. So I think they take this game with salt and just figure out what they need to learn from it and just keep moving forward.
And a 15-yard penalty on Jefferson will bring the ball to the 24-yard line of Jefferson. And the Wildcat for Mr. Bly.
Oh, my gosh.
And he is out at the 9-yard line. And honestly, Gavin has to be right now the player of the game.
I don't think there's anybody else you can really go with. I mean, he's done it. Aspect. We've even seen him make some, really nice tackles on defense as well.
Yeah, he's an all-around player.
Yeah.
And right now, they're just putting him in the Wildcat and just trying to take Jefferson.
I think they want to get him in the end zone again, which, I mean, that builds up his confidence going into the next game and the whole season, which is what they need for a player of his caliber.
Yeah, and I want to see Jefferson right now refuse to allow them in the end zone. I want to see that competitive fire where it's like, hey, we're at home. We're going to fight to the end. We're not going to let you just run. You're not scoring right now. You're not getting in the 40s against us. Mr. Bly with the –
looks like he's down at the 1.
Down at the 1-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. We have 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Sherando at the 1-yard line. Wildcat. Another Wildcat handoff. And Mr. Bly is in for the touchdown. Sherando Warriors. Gavin Bly. 41-15. Sherando Warriors. And right now, like you say, you just want to work on the game, finish the game strong. They said score is 41-15. It'll take a Peyton Manning-esque comeback.
Yeah.
To be able to be victorious. But, case that saw you go 9-2 last year and 10-3 with the playoffs.
They're a little spoiled right now.
Yeah, you're a little bit spoiled, and you just want to see. You want to see that culture change continue to occur, even in the loss.
Yeah.
Even in the loss, this is a game that they pretty much had self-inflicted injuries. So it's not like they got blown out because the team was just that much better.
No.
You just had costly turnovers in inopportune times. So what you want to see is you want to see them compete, because guess what? There's kids that are going to funnel into your school that are watching.
Yeah.
They're watching to see these kids fight because they look up to these kids.
They do.
So it's very important for Jefferson to continue to fight and to continue, to push to put out a good product, to continue to build that excitement in the community. Because right now, this community is excited about high school football, and one game's not going to change that.
Not at all.
But competition and fighting and competing.
That's where the culture is built.
Yeah, that's where the culture
is built. Is. And I really like how you said, there are younger kids in the stands. Really, they're not worried about a win or loss. I mean, of course they want to see a win, but they're out there really just looking at these kids' body language, and how they handle the loss. because that's how they're going to handle the loss
Yeah.
as well when they get older. Like you said, they look up to these kids. I mean, they really do.
Yeah, and you know, and having a son at Wildwood that is set to go to Jefferson, you know, as a parent, that's what you want. You want to teach them. When you get in the car tonight, you don't want to focus on, okay, no, the team lost. You want to focus on the fight. You want your kid to learn through some of the mistakes of the people who are in front of them, and be able to implement it in their life. Because I guarantee you, if you play this game long enough, you're going to have a game just like this.
Yeah.
And if you can take this lesson from the game and implement it into your own life and in your own life lessons, then maybe you'll be able to take care of yourself.
Let it fly.
Dylan Herrick is in at quarterback. The out route to the tight end, Wyatt Shobley, for a gain.
You know, this is a bright spot, too, for Jefferson to know that they do have a backup quarterback that they can throw in the game. I mean, he was already in the game doing some Wildcat stuff, but he's obviously able to make the throws as well. So
yes. And Dylan is someone who had a brother, Wyland, who's now at Frostburg.
Yeah.
And he's been
safety
dominant
up there. Correct?
He's been
Yeah,
dominant.
yeah,
Last night he had two
interceptions.
Two interceptions.
Yeah, I saw that. And this is the kid you're talking about.
And this is a kid who was a kicker last year. And look at that speed.
Yeah, that's awesome right there.
So with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it'll be a 1st and 10 Jefferson from the 50-yard line. First and 10 from the 50-yard line.
There you go. It's a great ball.
Oh, that's a great pass by Dylan Herrick.
Yeah. Like I said, you love to see this.
And what I liked about what Dylan did is Dylan scrambled, but he still looked down the field.
Yes. And that's as a quarterback you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to really keep your eyes downfield because, like we talked about before, that scramble drill, it's a part of football now.
Yeah.
Your receivers need to be on the same page as your quarterback.
Yeah. And Dylan's only a sophomore.
Another bright spot. There's bright spots everywhere. And look at this. Go get it. You got to go get it. Good catch. Good catch. Oh, man.
And honestly, you would like to see your wide receiver compete a little bit
Go
harder.
up and get it.
Yeah, for that play right there.
I've seen at least 4 today where I would just really like over the defender and just go high point that ball.
Yeah, be a little bit more aggressive.
Yes.
Because the defender jumped.
Yeah. And the crazy part about it is he caught that ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did. He just didn't hang on to it out of bounds. And if he
You
goes
gotta
up and
fence the
gets
play.
it, that defender doesn't get his hand in there.
You got to fence the play. So this will be 2nd and 10 from the Sherando 35-yard line. Herrick rolls out. Herrick reverses field.
Throw it. Yep. There you go. Keep
He
your eyes downfield. That's what you got to do. That's a catch.
A great catch.
Great catch.
By Spencer Powell. And that's what I was about earlier. Give your wide receiver a chance.
Yeah. And I love how number 16 kept his eyes downfield. The play, it was a broken play, but the whole time he was running, he saw number 23. 23 took off, and he let it fly. And that's what you have to do sometimes as a quarterback. Make something out of nothing.
And sometimes you give your best athletes, just throw the ball up and give them a chance.
Yeah.
So in 4, at the 1st and goal, actually at the 4-yard line with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left, sends Isaiah Fritz into motion. Herrick scans the field.
There it is.
Quick
upfield.
Quick out route to Evan Toole and touchdown.
And this is something that you love to see, Keem.
Yeah.
Because they did not give up
and
on
what
the
did
game.
we just say? What did we just say? You know, even though you're not going to win this game, you want your community, you want the kids who are watching you, you want them to see you compete until it's 0 seconds left.
Yep.
Because I guarantee these kids are watching this game, and if they get into a game where things aren't going their way, they can say, okay, I've watched Dylan compete. I watched Fritz compete. Hey, what can I learn? What can I learn from this? And what can I continue to do to push to get better? Because you're always working to get better. Every day you wake up and you're alive and God allows you to breathe. You're working to be better than you were the day before.
And, this is number 16.
Yeah.
He, Dylan, correct?
Dylan Herrick has looked good. And look at this.
Awesome.
The starting quarterback is out there ready to greet him, and Quentin Goins is showing what you want to see from a team leader.
That's exactly what you need. But number 16, he just made the most out of his opportunity.
Yes, he did.
He just drove almost and got points out of it. So that's a positive spot for the coaching staff to know that they have a backup quarterback that can essentially do the same thing as their starter.
And what I want kids to realize as well is you have to compete, and you have to continue to learn and grow. Watch the film, get in the weight room, but football, amongst other sports, is a team sport. And if you can't be happy for others, that's going to transition in life to everything else. If your friends made a promotion and you didn't get it, you have people getting married, bigger houses, nice. If you can't be happy for your friends or people in the community when they get success, that's going to transition into your life. And you learn those life lessons through sports.
You do.
Because there's going to be games where you just don't have it.
Nope.
Right? You don't have it. Somebody else comes in, and they're the hot new Porsche, for that day. Are you going to be that person, or are you genuinely going to be happy for them, knowing that eventually those ties are around, and you're going to be the one who's celebrated. So
Looks
I
like
really
an
love
onside kick here, Keem, which I love because they're not giving up. I mean, you can't go wrong with something like this.
And it must be a legal formation on Jefferson, which will push them back 5 yards. But I love to see what Quentin Goins just did right there. He was the first person out on the field greeting his teammates after, honestly, what was one of the better drives of the game for them.
I mean, it might have been the best drive for them, Keem. And the fact that, like you said, wasn't down on himself over here saying, oh, the backup quarterback just outshined me.
Yeah, woe
he
is
was
me.
the first one. I mean, that's the type of stuff that you love to see. You really do.
Yeah, woe is me right there. He didn't do it. So Jonathan Pineros, the onside kick.
And number 16 is a player, isn't he?
And he's tough.
Man.
Look at it. Number 15 got smoked. Number 15, Jake Dan, 175-pound junior. Listen, one thing I'm going to say is he showed heart.
Yeah.
There was no what did we say, Brandon? Leg pumping?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, and you want to know something else? 16. I mean, he's a quarterback, and he just laid the boom right there. Too often.
Yeah. And Dylan, and I know Dylan's family, and they're definitely some hard-nosed.
Yeah, oh yeah, his brother was. That's for sure.
Hard-nosed people. So we would like to thank our sponsors, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, our title sponsor today. VFW Post 3325, HD's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, Neil Powell Down Home Insurance, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage, Chris Page at Quality Lawn Care, our halftime show sponsor, L&L Handyman Services, and our post-game show and player of the game sponsor, K-Tro Law. I would like to thank my co-host, Brandon Ashenfelter, for joining me on the broadcast, Kevin Brewster for Man the Camera, Janadia Med for Man the Camera, Lorelai Bangit and her friend Mallory for being on the field camera for us today, and our producer, Harry Brown. So for the community, thank you for supporting us. We do apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we've had today. We promised we would get that fixed going forward. With 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Sherando is leading.
Ooh, look at that
42
hit right
to 23.
There. You love to see that. You don't quit. There's no
a big
quitting.
hit by Evan Toole. And this goes to the culture change of Craig Hunter.
Yeah.
You got to give Craig Hunter credit for this, because in years past, you might have seen them, put their head down, but they were fighting to the end. So no one can say the Jefferson team is not trying to finish this game.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Keem, nobody's really got to see me, but I'm supporting my Martinsburg colors because I bleed orange and black. But I love the way where the Easter panhandle's going, man. I love it.
I feel you, Brandon.
I love it.
And to be honest with you, like you said, there's kids from Martinsburg that I definitely have a high affinity for.
Yeah.
I love that community. I have family members in that community. My son's barber, Mike Grantham.
Yeah.
And he's shown
Big time
nothing.
Bulldog
And he's
fan.
shown nothing but love
Yeah.
to me and my family. So as much as we have that banter,
For sure.
we all know it's love.
I mean, and the
at
thing
end of the
about it
day.
is we compete against each other out here, but the sad part about it is the Eastern Panhandle competes against the rest of the state
Yeah,
because
we
they really do not like us.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
And it's because of where we are going, especially in the sports world. In the sports world, you hear about academically the schools around here are doing really well.
Yeah.
Harmony show choirs, we see winning states and
Exactly.
little things like that.
The
We have cheerleaders,
Muscleman
bands,
volleyball. Jefferson softball won a state championship.
You know, my whole thing is like I said, I bleed orange and black, but I'm all about the Eastern Panhandle and just where we're going as a whole. And that's really the reason that I wanted to help you guys out this year.
But I say, look at this broadcast. You know, my last 2 broadcasts have been with some of the biggest Martinsburg fans in the community. You have Brandon Hamilton last night, and then you.
Nutcase right there.
But if anybody can sit back there and realize that this rivalry ends on the field.
It does.
You know, we are great friends off the field. You know, there's nothing that we wouldn't do for each other. You know, off the field, we have amazing relationships with each other. You know, going forward, and to be honest with you, it's been fun. And me and you, Brandon, we will have that Martinsburg Jefferson game.
I know, I'm excited.
And
for
I know that game is going to be fun.
I'll really be decked
that
out.
That game is
going
to be fun for us.
Yeah, for sure.
And we can't wait to bring you guys this amazing coverage for that game because you know, it's going to be some going back and forth all week, even in production.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we just can't wait. So, honestly, you know, like for you guys who are part of that rivalry and who will be a part of that rivalry, yes, have that passion, have that fire, be competitive. Yes, Jefferson wants to beat Martinsburg. Yes, Martinsburg wants to beat Jefferson. And obviously you want to beat Musselman and everybody else. But when that game ends, I guarantee you there's going to be some great things you can learn from each other.
For sure.
And don't miss that. Don't miss that train.
Yeah.
Don't miss that train to be able to learn great lessons from people regardless of who they play for.
It's like you said before, it stops after the field or the court or you know, some of my best friends are from different counties, Jefferson, you know, got a lot of friends in Berkeley County as well, but they attended different schools. But the good thing about it was when we were on the field or the court, we got after it. We were each other's best competitor.
Yeah, we're competitive. And the thing is, though, like, I'll give you a prime example. My son plays for Wildwood, and they competed versus East Hardy on Wednesday. And one of my son's best friends was a running back for East Hardy, Garrett Banmeter. And Garrett was, man, you know, he ran like Mike Allstott. He was a bust. So, you know, today I get a call from one of my best friends, Charles Yates, and Jeff Todd from Martinsburg, and they say, hey, Akeem, you know, we want to take some of the best kids from the Panhandle down to Tennessee. This is the last year before they go to high school, and they're going to be competing against each other. Let's have that one final experience where our kids can come together, have this great experience, and us just enjoy it before it really gets real.
And that's something that we didn't have growing up. I know you didn't have it, but that aspect of it where they get to travel to another state and see teams from all over.
See how good they are compared to the rest of the country.
That's what really separates a lot of these kids. You see it now in high school, the ones that Mikey took with West Virginia Elite and took them there and here. Those are the ones that you see competing on Friday nights and really the playmakers on the field.
Yeah, and that's what you want, right? You know, it's a point to where, like, you want them. Like, when I watch Jefferson County play against, you know, North and South and Hedgeville, those games get live, right?
Yeah.
You enjoy it. But when those games were over, see, we didn't have Snapchat and Instagram.
Social media is crazy now.
You know, we didn't have. The only time we really was seeing each other is when we was about ready to play, right? Whereas now, you know,
you talk smack all week.
Yeah, you talk smack all week. You play the game, and next thing you know, it's just like, oh, okay. So like, you know, to get those calls and you talk and obviously we know what happens after this year. It's going to get real. They're going to compete, but I feel like a head start on what we have now, right? We form these relationships and we develop these relationships after our playing days, where they actually get to form these relationships during their playing days.
Like you said, social media has kind of broadened that aspect for them, where they can stay in contact rather than just seeing each other face to face.
Yeah.
I'm in that era where I'm before technology, but right when it started to happen. So I got my first flip phone and everything. I was a teenager, but like we talked about before, social media didn't have the presence that it does. That's a big aspect in the college recruiting area now too, is social media.
And that's another thing. You know, you are your kid's best promoter.
Yes.
And that's not saying that you think your kid's better than everybody else. Not the case. But honestly, right now, you're your kid's best promoter. So the last play of the game, Dylan Hurt was scrambled. He will be brought down at the 45-yard line. So at the end of the game, the score 2-23, Sherando Warriors. Thank you guys for supporting the home team Sports TV. We apologize for the glitches today. We will get that taken care of. But to finish the game, the score is Sherando 42, Jefferson 23. We'll take a quick commercial break. You are live with the home team.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
And we're back at Jefferson High School, where we have the Sherando Warriors victorious over Jefferson 42-23. me and my co-host Brandon Ashenfelter will have our final comments. Brandon, I think a lot of what we talked about in pregame with the physicality of the lines, Jefferson's the linebacker play was going to be key, and honestly, the turnovers definitely.